Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. You already know we back with another one of them things. We're going to be discussing a whole lot of G3. We got a whole lot of things to discuss tonight. I mean, it could get very interesting this evening. It's Flight Sports. Salute to all y'all that's out here that's tuned in. Listen, we all know Liangelo Ball is playing this Saturday, but what realistically can we expect? Tonight, I'm going to break that down along with a host of others. You know, we will be discussing things that we do expect. I'm expecting major things from G3, to say the least. I would like to know what y'all think as well. It's Flight Sports. We're going to get into it, man. You already know what it is. We got a star-studded panel. We got a star-studded chat. Shout out J Pap already in here early. He's already alerting the people that Jello versus Frank Nitty. We are going to get all into that, ladies and gentlemen, all into that. We got all access. What's the deal, Dex? Talk to the people. We live.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat and everybody that's rocking with Flight Sports TV today. Yeah, Flight, that should be a very interesting game tomorrow with BBB playing Public Enemy, and they also have a couple of professional players. One was dibbling dabbling in the profession on a slight lower level, and then we have another player that be featured on that Public Enemy team who has been to some of the highest heights in NBA as a sixth man of the year, things of that nature, and kind of been somewhat of a journeyman, but a serviceable journeyman, not just a contract or roster filler, someone who's been traveling to make an impact on the various teams that he has put his fingerprint on. So that will be a task for BBB. Also, one of the players is a Drew League legend, and he's basically been won 3 consecutive MVPs in the Drew League. So he's highly touted and well known, a fan favorite, crowd pleaser. So we will basically see how that will go down for BBB in that challenge. Also, we should have Jello on the scene. Hell, I don't even know who else will be on that BBB team. You know, the roster seemed to change week in and week out. But one thing that's a constant is Liangelo and Lavar. Also, they will face up against a member of that Public Enemy team who also is a hometown favorite. I think he grew up in Watts, and I think it was from the Jordan Downs and Watts. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jordan Downs. All the grapes out there. He also played with Damian Lillard in college. He was part of the starting tandem of that Weber State basketball team. And we all know what Damian Lillard did. He moved on to higher heights and things of that nature as an NBA All-Star, and led his team, the Portland Trailblazers, to the Western Conference a championship game. Fell short to win that game and move on to the NBA Finals, but he got as far as you can go in the Western Conference without reaching an NBA Finals. So, yeah, that team, Public Enemy, do have some really good talent over there. They lost the championship last year, if I'm not mistaken, to ICANN. I think it was ICANN won the championship, beat them out in a very highly contested Drew League basketball game and things of that nature. Also, this Frank Nitty guy, if some of you go back as far as I do, you know that one of his teammates was the Game, LA Confidential, the rapper up in the Drew League. And I think they did win a championship, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Frank Nitty in the Game, they won a championship in the Drew League a few years back, approximately about 7 years. So yeah, Frank Nitty been, he been dabbling, got up on the D League with the Lakers and the South Bay Lakers, and got cut towards the beginning. I mean, got cut after preseason. I think got cut after preseason. But yeah, and it was a big thing out there where he was balling with the Lakers. A lot of people thought he was going to actually get on the Lakers and things of that nature. He does a lot of balling in the LA area, especially at the Venice Park. He used to be a part of all of the celebrity basketball games and things of that nature. Eventually went overseas. Well, he went to Canada, went overseas, and then never really made it to the NBA. But he dabbled with it to a certain degree, and then he just became just like a local celebrity. But see, what one people don't know about Frank, right, is that this guy worked at Verizon. Yes, he was he worked at Verizon at one point. You know what I'm saying? So hey, man, follow your dreams. Don't never quit. You just never know where they might lead you, and it just happens like that. You know what I mean? He didn't make the NBA, or he didn't make the developmental league or the G League to its fullest extent. But at the same time, he still got to make money. He still got to have a stream of income, and he had to go to work at Verizon. But now look at him. He got endorsements. He get clothing endorsements, dabbling in modeling a little bit, getting sponsorships. So, life is pretty good for him. Yeah, he might not be the big millionaire guy, but I'm quite sure he pays his bills with little problems. And Ice Cube, familiar with him and got him on the what's that, the Big Three.
Yeah,
So
the
he
Big
played,
Three. Shout out to Big Three. They doing their thing.
right. They're doing their thing, and so he's been a part of the Big Three for a few years, playing with ex NBA players and things of that nature. So he's been dabbling around some high level competition and things of that nature. So I think he took Stack Jack. I think Stack Jack don't play in the Big Three anymore, because I think he's like the full-time personality with Up in Smoke and doing his activism and things of that nature. So I think Frank Nitty took over for Stack Jack, and it's like the captain of that Killer 3 team. And I think they lost the championship, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so he's been dabbling with a lot of competition out there, and played with a lot of high-level talent NBA players. And of course, right now he's playing with Montrezl Harrell. So that Public Enemy team is not anything that you can sneeze at or poo-poo on, because a lot of people do like to poo-poo on the Drew League. Since LeBron James and a lot of other high-level athletes have showed up to the Drew League, it has heightened attention and has brought some gravity to the Drew League by just everyday basketball fans and some even what you call like hardcore basketball fans that thought the Drew League was just a rec league and never really paid attention to it. And even though some people won't admit that their attention was garnered through the presence of Liangelo Ball and the big baller because of the attention that they grabbed, they try to make it seem like nah, it wasn't Jello. It was these other NBA players. Nah, come on, guys, stop it. We all know that a lot of people kind of gravitated to the Drew League based on Liangelo. Because Flight, we've been doing this for 2 years, live streaming Drew League, and even up close and personal, being present, live streaming the Drew League, and we know what they have done for your channel. So people just need to stop it. You got a lot of misinformation out here, and they're spiraling the narrative to the point where the BBB seems to be irrelevant because they have, a strong old media mindset, and that's what old media basically is trying to parade, that BBB and those affiliates with that are to some degree irrelevant. And if any type of publicity comes towards them, then there's people out there that's knocking it. It just take a whole lot to just travel through this earth with a lot of hate in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just trying to celebrate and look at something of what your people have done, you just have these Benedict Arnolds that's parading themselves as content creators, backed by old media machines, or they want to have a seat at the table with old media, so they want to conjure up a lengthy catalog highlighting their old media content. You follow what I'm saying? Hopefully the old media come knocking on their door. But, most likely that probably would never happen. As we can see, the Draymond Greens, the JJ Reddicks, the Knuckleheads, the Up in Smoke podcast, or whatever that podcast is with Barnes and Stack Jack. And, Shaq got his, Bill Simons, Patrick, there's just so many to name now, that the old media has basically infiltrated the YouTube landscape because of greed. They don't want to give us little guys something to have a voice. Thanks to Flight, we do have a voice, and a variety of voice, not just one singular voice, a variety of voice. So I want y'all to keep that in mind when I open up the monologue and say that Flight Sports TV is the voice of the voiceless. That is 100%, because when Flight drops his link, you're welcome to come up here. There's no vetting. There's no shaking down. We don't know who you are half of the time. And our first interaction is when you come on a panel and you give us who and what you are, So that's the impression that we have. That's the introduction that we have. And that's the virtual handshake when you get to Flight Sports TV. So shout out to Flight Sports TV and this platform. That's why you guys should like, subscribe, support financially, and come in and just enjoy yourself, because this platform has basically been created for the people. It's just not a facade. It's actually real. You see it. And we don't have just one voice. We have a multiple of voices, and these voices tend to bridge the gap between the young and the old and everything in between, from the young Dave James and the SMGs of the world up to the Verns, Marvin, and myself. You follow what I'm saying? And then you have the in-betweens with the A1s, the Murgods, the Skies of the world, and then we also have a female interaction with the Jessicas and the Purple Babies and other females that come, you know, periodically. I might not just remember their name, but they might come in periodically. The doors are open.
J&J.
Oh yeah, there you go, J and J. I'm sorry, J and J. Salute to you. My bad. Yeah, and so we have a multitude and a variety of voices that we put up on a platform that is not no male chauvinistic event that we try to put on every day, nor are we claiming to be the smartest in the room. Because listen, I was always told if you're the smartest in the room, you're in the wrong room, because that means that there's no growth for you. There's only growth for those below you, but there's no growth for you. So maybe you need to find another room. And we also want to appreciate all the intellectuals that come among us and share their content in the way that they know best, whether you be lettered or you just an autodidact. However you attain information and knowledge, and you release that information, that wisdom, we appreciate you. So that's why we say Flight Sports TV is a voice of the people. So that's when you hear that, that's what it means. Come one, come all. You follow what I'm saying? Weary, weak, strong, it doesn't matter. Meek, just come as you is. Hopefully once you get here, you know, you might can leave a better person and be a more productive human being in society. And this is why, Flight, that I believe we take on the optimism of the BBB and the boys and other athletes that we highlight and other teams that we highlight. You know, we highlight some Portland Trailblazers, we highlight some Denver Nuggets, we highlight some Lakers, we highlight some Bulls, we highlight some Hornets. You know what I'm saying? And to some degree, we highlight some Orlando Magics. But whatever you come, you bring your team, you bring up the topic, and we will discuss it. You follow what I'm saying? This is being the voice of the people. I remember at one time a couple of Utah Jazz's guys used to be on our panel, and we used to talk a little Utah Jazz basketball and things of that nature. So if it's your team, come on, man. Listen, you have a seat at the table. This is one of those King Arthur tables. I mean, it's so long, it's so many chairs, and some of these chairs are empty, and so there's a spot for you. If you have a team you want to talk about, let's talk about it. And it doesn't matter what sport, because we have guys on this panel that talks about an array of topics in sports. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying we know it all, but we probably know some aspect of it to engage with you in the things that you want to hear about. So, and it could be some disagreements and it could be some agreements. And that's one thing that I love about Flight Sports TV as a whole, because Flight believes in decentralization, you know, and decentralization is very important when you have a throng of people coming together as a gathering to speak their piece. So there's no one king to rule all, to look at their subjects as beneath them. No, it's not that. It's not the mentality. You come with your empirical information based on what you know, and we share, we talk, we engage, and we listen. We always love the 3Ds. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We all love the 3Ds, right? Discussion, debate, dialogue. Those 3Ds encompass what Flight Sports TV is all about. We discuss some things. We damn sure debate a lot of things. And we have dialogue. You know, sometimes the dialogue gets a little off track. We might digress. You follow what I'm saying? But we'll eventually bring it back to to the sports, because that's the meat and crust of Flight Sports TV, not Flight Political TV. So we understand that. But Flight give us a little room. But rest assured, he got his hand real close to that mic, because I know plenty of times that I'm in full discussion and unleashing, and Flight would hit the mute button just in case I don't, if I implode, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to Flight for all that, keeping control of his channel and things of that nature.
Right. Back to Liangelo for 1 second. We all know what he did. He put up good numbers, last game, despite, just taking a beating, the other team really they had their way. Obviously things need to change defensively to get a W. But what does Liangelo Ball have to do individually, Saturday, pardon me, to really, continue that fire and keeping that eye on him? What does he have to do? What's the framework? Is it 30 points? Is it, a even game? Is it 15? 7 and 7. I mean, what's the framework of success for Liangelo?
A W. I think a W will, against this team, will erase some doubt about his competitiveness in this Drew League, because it's hard to really grade him the way that we will want to grade him based on their record. Their record this year is 0-8, and that is not something that you want to cheer for. That is something that you try to find adjustments for. Now, Liangelo, personally, I think he should have a solid game with very low turnovers. Listen, I don't really too much care about a shooting percentage, right? Just come out with a competitiveness and have low turnovers. Don't give the other team extra opportunities to beat you. That's what I want from Liangelo and the BBB team. That mindset right there. You know what I'm saying? Don't give this team extra chance to beat you, because this is a very good team. This is one of the better teams in the Drew League. You know what I'm saying? They're like top 3. So that right there will be a successful game for me. He can have 15, 10, and 8. I wouldn't be mad at that. I mean, the haters, they will clamor over that. Oh, he didn't score 20 or whatever like that. I would say a nice competitive game, you follow what I'm saying, and a W at best, but competitive at least, and have a solid game with minimum amount of turnovers. If he can escape playing this team, because Frank Nitty has been Defensive Player of the Year in the G League before, so he's going to be D'd up. He's going to be D'd up, and if he can come out of here with something serviceable, with 1 or 2 or 0 turnovers, that what I would call that a successful output based on what BBB puts out there on the court, and based on the lineage and legacy of Public Enemy duel with Frank Nitty and Montrezl Harrell.
Right, I agree with you. Salute to the chat right now. Says, shout out Chuck Morris, shout out my man Billy Carpenter Jr. Salute to all y'all that's in the building right now, discussing a whole lot of Liangelo Ball. Now we're discussing what's the expectations from his game this upcoming Saturday. It's a nice star-studded opponents, across from him. So let's see how this game shakes out. Everybody keep their eyes on it. It's starting 1:45 Pacific time, ladies and gentlemen. 1:45 Pacific time. I definitely want to let y'all know that. Pardon me. Shout out my man J Pap too. He says, hopefully they have more than 6 players this time. How's that working, Dex? Can they just add players on? I do think that would be a benefit for not only Liangelo, because I think Liangelo gonna run the whole game, but I think that he need to possibly get some other players on the team that could possibly consistently put the ball in the hole. Maybe at least 1 or 2 guys, and hopefully just get 1 extra. But really it seems like they just need reinforcements for the other players. It seems like they're running out of gas mid-game. I'm only seeing 6 players, and you look at the other team, they were loaded. So how does that work for Team BBB? Do you think we're going to see 6 guys again, or could we see an increase in the roster?
Listen, I have the slightest idea. I have no new information, but it is obvious that Liangelo was gassed. Liangelo was exhausted. Um, yes, you know, if you play basketball, if you exhausted and you gas, you know you do a lot of dumb mistakes because the mental is not all the way there. And then if anybody want to contest that, they're not being genuine, or they just don't know basketball. Because I played a lot of basketball in my life. Yeah, I didn't make it to no college or nothing like that, but you know I did play organized basketball. And if you come with and I've been on a team where we had 7 players. We barely made it. We barely made the qualification without being disqualified. And playing basketball, you can't control the other team's flow, right? So if they moving fast, kind of naturally, you're going to move fast, and especially if they're hitting buckets, you kind of get a little anxious at times. But nevertheless, yeah, when you're gassed and you're tired, you're exhausted, a lot of times your mind don't even put you in the right space to make the best decisions. You start to do crazy things. That's when the subbing comes in at. That's where the coaching come in at. When the coaches see that a player is mentally fatigued, then you bring him out, let him regather himself, let him reset, then you send him back out there for war. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that a general would never do was send a weary soldier out into the battlefield, because that's basically committing murder. You feel me? So in the art of war, that's something you don't do. You always want to have your replenish supplies, and that is your substitution in basketball. That's your replenish supply. So when your better soldiers are a little tired, exhausted, you bring them in, get them reset, get their mind right to go back out for battle, or otherwise, you're committing murder. And so I'm hoping that's not the case this Saturday, because, like you say, it's going to be a very interesting game, and it's going to be pretty high profile. And this is going to be the chatter amongst the gymnasium at the Drew League, Frank Nitty versus Liangelo Ball. You know what I'm saying? And they need to basically have all of the cavalry ready. Now, do I know if anybody else is coming? Where cometh my help? I don't know. Like that part, I don't know. I don't know who's going to show up, who's going to be there. But this game is a later game, whereas some other games were earlier games, and maybe people schedule. People go to church and things of that nature, right? So a lot of times, this secular life is secondary if you're a churchgoer. You're gonna go to your church and do your thing, and if you make the game, you make the game. If you don't, you don't. So now the game is a little later on in the day, and hopefully that he'll have some troops to back up his premium troops.
Right, because I feel like as much as it's not, I don't know if you want to call it pressure, because like I said, you know how Lavar Ball, his take on pressure is like non-existent, but it seems to be a heightened sense of, emphasis, on, possibly, like I feel like it's just as much as an emphasis on getting a win as it is, Jello, doing his thing. It seems like, people are, really wanting to win, almost, it's starting to really like, okay, what's going on with a W? Even though this is just exhibition play, is more individual, but I mean, it seems to be Team BBB just got to get a win by hell or high water. And I think they can get the job done, against this team. I think so. They got to change some things up, because even in that game they played, they got blown out, relatively quickly. It wasn't striking distance. There was moments before they blew the doors off the hinges, so I don't know if they watch film or tape or anything like that, but I think they need to just adjust a few different things, headed into this next game, so that way they can continue to stay in striking distance. You don't want to be in a situation where you down 30, in the first quarter or even the second quarter. You want to keep yourself within that. Hopefully you'll be winning, but I mean, you don't want to go really over 10 points, preferably, really realistically for this kind of basketball, no more than 15 points. You want to stay in striking distance with these teams. And lately they've been kind of getting out of striking distance, where the game is over before halftime. So hopefully we don't have that situation. That's just as a collective unit. And I don't think it's a knock on the style of play or the formula that Lavar Ball is putting out there, or not so much the talent. Of course, they need to upgrade that as well around Liangelo, but I think they just need more bodies. Obviously the guy's endurance is not really 100%. Because the other team they running and gunning all night long. So let's see what happens. This next game. You know, they need to figure something out, and also emphasize some timeouts too, especially when you got the 6 man rotation. And like I said, this is not so much for Liangelo's sake. Of course, it'll be benefiting Liangelo, but I think some of these other guys need to take a breather. Especially before the game gets blown off the hinges. We might need to take a pause real quick. Because these guys is wild. Some of these other players that surround Liangelo. But I got faith. They did have some guys that put the ball in the hole, but not so much consistently. I would like for them to get Jello the ball in better spots. If Liangelo could pick his spots and up his efficiency as well. And that goes to not really having a good quality point guard on that roster and having 6 guys. That's why you might see his efficiency not the highest because Jello is damn near taking all the shots. That's something that we got to put into consideration that I don't see nobody do. Liangelo is damn near taking 75% of the shots. Damn near. I was if it's not that, it's low under. But I think y'all catching where I'm coming from. Jay Papp says Team BBB needs to try to slow the game down, get rid of the press, call timeouts, run half court offense. It would only help. That's cool. That's one, thorough analysis. But just be on the lookout. I think Lavar Ball is gonna have something, planned out. I think Lavar Ball wants to get a W. Like I said, there's no pressure, but I think it's just a heightened sense of, emphasis to get this W. And I think Lavar Ball is gonna pull out all the stops and try to get it done. So I know what Jello gonna do. I know Jello gonna go fill it up. He gonna put out, a good quality effort. But it's all about the other guys, because if they could do something that'll relieve pressure off Liangelo, at least somebody could be a threat out there. If you think about it, who was the threat on that on the team BBB besides really Jello? No one. They got to get somebody on that team that could get the defense shifted. You understand? Because it seemed like the defense is just really shifted on Liangelo. And Jello doesn't get the ball in the best spots. And that's what that attributes to the point guard play. I hate the spots that Liangelo Ball catches the ball in. Like I said, but it is what it is. I think this will help him headed into training camp, wherever that may lead him. What you think about that, Dex? Salute the Memphis 10 and Mac.
Well, see, the thing of it is, we have to look at it like this. We can't approach this with a double standard with Liangelo in the Drew League. Because, some people say the Drew League is a rec league. Some people say Liangelo's auditioning for an NBA spot. Some people say Liangelo just trying to get his stamina and work on certain aspect of his game that he probably hadn't worked on in years, and it looks real ugly while he's doing it. So we have to put a standard here. Is this basketball inconsequential, or is this basketball relevant? Now, you can't keep jumping the lines and blurring things up, right? Where do you stand on your standard? Is it inconsequential, or is this an audition? Because
I think it's
yeah,
I think it's official, but I think that it's more tailored to almost individual play. I think guys are going down there really to, either advance themselves overseas or advance themselves in camp. You even got NBA players going there for crying out loud. You think Jordan Bell is in the Drew League just for nothing? I mean, the man is trying to continue playing, keep his shit going, and it helps, him going into camp. Everybody's there for a reason individually as well.
yes, I
That's
agree.
what I think. That's what I think. I think it's more tailored to the individual more than, oh my God, let's compete for this championship. But go ahead.
Because we know that some guys going to come to the Drew League, put on their uniform, play, go home, and go back to whatever lifestyle they had, knowing they have no chance to
Right.
enter into the
No,
NBA.
nobody's going there to win a championship. Hey man, I'm hell bent. I came here to win a championship. That's not the talk when guys are coming to the Drew League.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why, see, that's why you have to judge when it comes to Liangelo. How are you judging his play? Are you judging from the position of the Drew League being unimportant, insignificant? We're just trying to get our win going, just trying to do a little something. Because even though the NBA players do come through there, because they always have come through there, it's just that certain people are getting wind to that, and then they want to put it on their platform, right? So the NBA, in conjunction with the Drew League, seeing that it was an opportunity to keep going with showcasing basketball, right? So there's a plethora of pro-am leagues. Now, if that's the case, Flight, if that's the case, then how is the NBA looking at it? Because some of these NBA players, they might play in the Drew League for 2 weeks, and then they might fly down to Miami and play in Miami Pro-Am. You follow what I'm saying? They might fly up to Baltimore and play in that Pro-Am. They go to Dykeman, what First Belize was talking about yesterday, and play in that one. You understand what I'm saying? All the players don't just go to the Drew League and just stay there for the duration of the season. Only a few players have to do that. Mostly kind of the LA living players does that. They play the Drew League and that's all they play. Whatever team they're on, they're gonna play that throughout the season. They ain't moving around. You follow what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys do fly in to their cribs in LA and whatever business they got in LA, and oh shit, let me get a run in the Drew League, and they'll come to the Drew League and get a run in, and then you probably won't see those guys again for the rest of the season. You understand what I'm saying? So that's
Right.
why I'm saying, see, I know this because I see it. That's why I'm saying, how are you judging the Drew League? Is it inconsequential, insignificant, unimportant, or is it an audition for any and everybody that comes through there? But I agree with you, Flight. It's case by case. You can't blanket everything. So we focus on Liangelo, right? That's our focus. I don't know what anybody else focuses on. We've been focused on Liangelo for the past 3 years, right? Past 2 seasons for sure, for us getting highlighting footage and putting boots on the ground where Liangelo is supposed to be at, right? That's what our channel have done. So it ain't like we jumping on some bandwagon or we found somebody new to hate on. You follow what I'm saying? Oh, let's hate on Liangelo. Let's just pound on him. No, that's not our case. We've been tracking Liangelo. This is why we're able to do what we do when we come and bring you content based on Liangelo's presence or his involvement. I'm saying like this. This is what I see. Liangelo Ball involvement in the Drew League is more so mental than physical. Now, why do I say that? Is because the nuances of adding something to your game and then showcasing it for the public to dissect, whether they come out with a good narrative or a bad narrative, or they come out with something in the gray areas of the narrative. I'm more so celebrating the journey of a man who was counted out and now trying to count himself back in. That's what I'm celebrating. The nuances of Liangelo mental makeup without his brothers. Now I'm talking about without his brothers, not with, but without his brothers. How can he adjust mentally, knowing that the guy next to him wants the same status or spot that he's searching for? Whereas when you're playing with your brothers, that might not be the case to some degree. So he's playing with fit friends and he's playing with associates, right? And most of these guys, if not all, wants to be in the NBA, wants to be on a team, want to have that lavish lifestyle, wants to have that NBA contract money coming in for 5 years and then renegotiating for another 5 years. So this is what he's up against. It's similar to what he was up against when he was in Lithuania. So that type of mindset have to come where he has to think for himself. And yeah, you got to be a little selfish. I mean, not to the point where it ruins your soul, but you got to be a little selfish that I need to rise above any and all who's around me or against me in this Drew League. And I've really yet to see that thus far, that I can say clear cut, he's the best player on the court. And the reason why is because I believe, like I said, it's more mental than his physical acumen. His mental powers have to adjust being around people that play to eat. And when you're around people that play to eat, it's kind of doggy dog. Listen, you might not like it, but that's what it is. It's kind of doggy dog. And it could be your best friend in the locker room, or it could be one of your cool partners you play video games with that you come meet up at the Drew League and y'all do y'all thing. You got to have that mentality that I am the best. I am him, like K and T would say. I'm him. You follow what I'm saying? And he have to get that in his mindset that this is not something you're playing with. Because what about if you get hurt, right? Because that's an aspect of the game, injury. So you have to play the game to avoid injury, but also to excel from the position that you enter the game. So when you leave that game, people say, "Oh man, that dude's the best player on the court," and you have the feeling that I am better than yesterday. You know what I mean? I feel better after the game than I was coming into the game based on the competition that I've played. So once he like integrate that with his skill set, I believe Liangelo will be an outstanding basketball player, regardless of the flaws that we might see him have, or regardless of his flourishing, because his flaws and flourishing is strangely mixed, and I find that astounding to some degree. That you could see Liangelo come and do something very awful, right? It's so ostentatious that you're like, what the fuck was that? And then you come see Liangelo do something special, seamless, and shining. You're like, whoa, now see, that's the Liangelo I'm talking about. And a lot of this happens a lot in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just really congruent with each other. And I think that it shouldn't be so balanced. I think it should be to the point where more of his shining should show than his flaws. But I understand Flight to some degree of why is that, and that probably is based on him trying to integrate a new aspect to his game that will enhance his repertoire, that will also make him a well-rounded NBA caliber type player. So with all this going on, this young man, 24 years old, have to formulate all these equations and make sure that his answer gives him the best opportunity to be the best player on the floor every time he step on the Drew League court as of now, because this is where we're playing. You follow what I'm saying? And that has yet to come into. You follow what I'm saying? He have yet to basically integrate all that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're speaking as a chemist, he has yet to amalgamate all those aspects of his talent mentally as well as physically, and to some degree emotionally, because sometimes I've seen Liangelo walk down court with his head down, a little frustration. You follow what I'm saying? So it seems like he's being pushed a little bit more than maybe he wants to be pushed. But at the same time, that's what it takes, right? Because if you ever went into Hell Week as a football player, you know they push you off the team. That's what Hell Week basically is. It's the survival of the fittest. It's the ecosystem in sports. So when the coach grabbing your helmet, cussing you out, hitting you upside the head, pushing your shoulder pads, you fighting with teammates, they're hitting you too hard, you have to be prepared for that, because they're preparing you for war. When you go out there in that high impact collision sport as football, you have to be mentally prepared for it, or you could be devastated. And I think this is what I believe Lavar is doing mentally with Liangelo, is trying to get in his head all the nuances of war and what it's going to be up there amongst your brother, your older brother, and your younger brother, and fit in seamlessly where you won't look like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? Because of a lack of this or a lack of that. That's what I believe that's happening with Liangelo in the Drew League.
Right, I agree with you. A1 was good.
What's up, fellas?
Was good. What's your thoughts on Jello and the Drew League, and also what are your realistic expectations for him and Team BBB on Saturday?
He just got to, just got to show his ass, man, and show what he's been working on. You know what I mean? That's what he's been doing. He's just showcasing himself. All he can do is showcase and put himself out there. And all it takes is one person. You can't sign with 5 teams. All it takes is one person. So, he may put up 60 and go 20 for 30. So it's just, he's plugging away, man. And as a professional athlete, if we go percentages, all right, how many guys on each team is really like that and secure? Maybe 3 on each team. So do the percentages. It's 5 guys, 15 guys on the roster. 3 guys are living comfortably. The rest of them is fighting for their life every day. So that's what he's doing, man. He's just fighting for his life every day. And he's trying to be a 1%er. And people they sit back, oh, he's not good enough. And it's so easy for motherfuckers like that to say that when they ain't been through no grind, when they ain't been there, when they haven't. It's tough to speak to people like that have that point of view when they know nothing about the grind, nothing about waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting up 500 makes, then coming back at 1 o'clock and getting up another 500 makes, and then not making it. They don't know what that takes, the mental and the intestinal fortitude that it takes to keep your head up and keep grinding. Bro, like, I know what it is, what he's going through right now. I had to go to Canada, bro. You know how much of an ego to be a drafted player, and then have to go to Canada? Fuck that. You just show what you can do and play. And that's just, to me, that's him betting on himself, him putting himself out there. He can just be like, I'm just working on my game, get ready for. No, he's putting himself out there, man. And that takes balls. How many people can do that? So it's nothing but respect, man. And once he gets it, he got it, he good.
I agree
Good
with
take.
you, A1.
Yeah, that was a
Good
good
take
take.
on that. A1 cooking early.
And I got a guy. I'll text you guys the information, but his name is Keontae Scott. All right. He just got a full ride scholarship to Auburn. Really good kid, man. The #1 junior college player in the country. I want to get him on because he got a story. All right. His dad's doing life. Like, he got a story. And I think these youngsters like Dave James, all these guys need to hear this dude, man, because he picked himself up, put himself out there, highly recruited kid out of high school, got into some shit, had to go to JUCO, ended up being the #1 player in junior college. Now he's going to Auburn. I want to put him on here so, man, you guys can tell the story. I train him. I'm biased, but he did what he needed to do, put his ego away, and now he's on the trajectory where he needs to be. So I think these youngsters need to hear stories like that, because it takes balls to do what Jello's doing. To hear people that don't even know him, ain't even walked a day in his shoes, talking about him, talking about he ain't good enough. Motherfucker, you the guys that's talking about him can't even hold his draws. Go play him one-on-one and see what happened to you. They don't want to do that. They're couch potato critics, man. And I can't stand those guys, man.
I
Hey, I'm
agree
gonna be
with
in
you.
the house flight if you have me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm
Top the
doing
floor.
a housewarming party. Me and my lady moved together a few months
Oh
ago.
my God.
Oh, congratulations.
Appreciate it, man.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man. We about to have a housewarming party, but A1 was cooking, so I had to hop on. Goddamn it. And what he's saying is like, I mean, it's so hard to convey that to people who never really laced them up like that, because it's easy to call somebody trash. It's easy to call somebody like you ain't good enough. It's easy to throw stones if you ain't never sweated like that. And what we also say, man, when I play ball, it's like, man, you ain't got no D1 minutes, nigga. Shut your bitch ass up. And we said that to people coming from JUCO, freshmen coming in. We like, dog, you got no D1 minutes, nigga. Shut your bitch ass up. Now, some dudes had the, you know, it was a, you know, what's what I'm looking for? It was a trope that we said, but some people could, you know, elevate past that. But some people, they really couldn't handle it. Like, you got a scholarship, but like, bro, you ain't played when the popcorn's popping yet.
Right.
You ain't played when the scrutiny is on you, when your peers are looking at you, you know, in a home game, and like you got to answer them, like, you know, when you go to class, right?
Yep.
It's different. And then let's say you go to the next level to play professional overseas. You don't know that scrutiny when you getting paid the most on the team and your team suck and y'all lose by 40 and they blame everything on you. It's different. And I'll be honest, man. Like in college, I didn't average a lot like that. I played D1 in 2 different programs. I went overseas. I was getting blamed for games that we got drummed by 60. I had like 20 and 10, and I got blamed for the game. I'm like, what the fuck did you want me to do? Like, we literally had a dude on my team with a broken hand playing. So I'm like, so you want me to like do everything? Like, so the point I'm making is when you get on a certain level, dog, excuses are out the window.
Yep.
And expectation is through the window. And if you never felt that, it's easy to get behind the keyboard and clackety clack, 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 clackety clack. But Jello out there put in what I call sweat equity. He put sweat on the motherfucking wood, literally.
Yes, sir. Relentlessly,
dog. And it's not easy. Man, I don't know if I know Dex and Flight seen my thing, but one of my youngest, man, I had an AAU, man. He's about to go into his last year playing at Texas Southern University, and they beat University of Florida last year, which is a big upset. A cat named John Walker, man. And I watched him grow up since he was 13, man. He's 24 now. And to see the level he at now, like little baby Giannis kind of build he got going, he about to go into his senior year. And this dude about to rip shit up. But I remember he started off at Texas A&M University, which is a way better school than Texas Southern. Texas Southern is HBCU. Still D1, but small level D1. Long story short, it was good chopping up with him to see where his humility has been from starting the SEC to now in the SWAC. But now he's like a guy in the SWAC. He would probably be the player of the year this year coming up. And just to hear him talk about how he thought things were and how he had to build himself up and he thought the SWAC was sweet and he learned it's not. Just because HBCU, it ain't sweet coming from a big, you know, program like Texas A&M.
Yep.
So that's sweat equity to me. So, you know, I shut up and I let him talk because I wanted to hear what a 24-year-old perspective was, what coming through the ranks was. And that's apropos to what Jello's going through, being similar in age. Because, dog, it ain't sweet out here, dog. It ain't sweet at all. It's hard as shit. And like you said, the 1%, dog, and for you guys to understand in the chat and listening in, 1% literally means if 100 people walk into a building, the NBA scouting there, he picking one dude. One. One dude out of 100 niggas who came in there. No, let's put it this way. Hoopers. Not just dudes who just hoop on the weekend. Not dudes who put the Xbox aside and, you know, get a little work in. Dudes who play every day. One dude get the shot. So we got to keep this shit in context when we talk about things like this because we lose scope. And when you lose scope, you just say anything. So I just want to add that to the conversation because A1 touched the nerve with that because I'm like, dog, I really want y'all to understand what the 1% means. The 1% really means like the elite of the elite of the elite. And there's no shame this man is in the 99%. Probably closer to the what? You know, closer to that 1%. Like he's right on the doorstep. I mean, if we're being honest. And so I want us to keep scope when we have these conversations because it's easy to lose context and you just say anything and it's the internet, so fuck it, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But, you know, I just want to give some perspective to that because it's really disheartening to hear when people say anything. And when A1 said that and when Dex said, you know, previous to that, that's true, though. It's true. That's how it is. It's the best of the best. And if you don't make it, it's no shame in that. But if you're right there on the door knocking in, like, dude, that's still you're one of the best of the best. You just may not get that, you know, that final call, but you still one of the best of the best, man. And we got to respect it. In my opinion.
And how many people can Jello talk to? All he can hang around is his brother and professionals. Because who else he gonna talk to about this? Nobody. I guarantee that dude's lonely. It's besides his brother. What homies can he talk to about what he going through? Because nobody is doing what he's doing but his brothers. So,
Facts.
bro, I, bro, I know hoop jargon. You've been in places, bro. I woke up one day. I'm in British Columbia, Canada, man. I don't know where I'm at, but I know I got 18 weeks to do what I got to do. Head down. I don't know nobody. I don't want to know nobody. I'm out of here. And that's what he's trying to do. To go into that mental, bro, it's tough being from LA and having money and doing what I ain't got to do this. It's all for the love of what he's doing. I want to make it. I want to prove to myself and prove to everybody else that this shit can be done. Because when he does it, how many kids are he's going more than his brother and Lonzo? He's going to inspire. Because guess what? If he can do it, he had to go through that route. I can do it.
And check it, A1. My guy, again, John Walker, 24 years old. He would take, if push came to shove, and he didn't get to the NBA like he aspires to do, he would take that first job Jello took in Lithuania to get his feet wet in Europe. He would take that same job at 24 years old that Jello took at 19. I bet my bottom dollar if push came to shove. Right?
Hell yeah.
So with that being said, we got to understand what we're really talking about with this shit. And it gets goofy in this space. I get it. Because you want to compare him to Melo. You want to compare him to Lonzo. Cool. I understand that. But it's important to not lose scope of what basketball professional really is, which is a very broad spectrum. Very broad.
Exact. And the fact is, these motherfuckers can say what they want to, Hoop, because if he's making 100 grand, you tell me what job and how many people at 24 is making 100 grand. You can't. It's less than 1%.
If he makes 50 grand, he's still doing better than 20.
So those are the
years
facts.
old.
All these people talking the shit, they ain't making his money.
Come on, man. He already rich.
And he get to play hoop to do it.
He already rich on top of that, A1. He already rich. He already won in life already.
Exactly.
It's personal goals at this point. So
exactly. So that alone right there let you know his love for the game. I ain't got to do this. I just want to hoop and prove to people I can play this game.
Bingo. And with that, I'm gonna drop the mic because I got this damn house party. I wish I could kick it with y'all, but
man, blessings, brother.
I had to get on, man. Y'all inspire me. Dex and A1, y'all inspire me, so I had to hop on, man. So salute Flight, salute the panel, salute the chat, man. I'm out.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. You know what I'm saying? We always love when Hoop Jargon come up here and give us his perspective. Because like he has his personal testimony. Shout out to A1. We love when he come up here and get us excited because he has his personal testimony. And reason why I say that about these two. These two are formal professional players. They reached some aspect of the pinnacle of their respective sports. A1 football, Hoop Jargon basketball. And it's lovely that you can have that perspective come on your panel at any given time to keep equilibrium amongst all of our content creators. You follow what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like Hoop Jargon say, we tend to lose sight because things get a little goofy, things get a little lame, and we just, try to make comical out of certain things. I remember when they used to do Lonzo that way. Some people still try to do Lonzo that way, but they really can't because here you have a city of nearly 6 million people, right? And out of that 6 million people, at least 4 million of them love the Chicago Bulls. You follow me? And they see how relevant Lonzo is once he's healthy to the Chicago Bulls, and he was very missed. So a lot of them goofy, dumb videos people was trying to make of Lonzo, they can't make no more. And this is why people are not even listening to him. Think about that. They committed content suicide. Regardless of how many times I personally warned them, I'm talking about off stream, call it, dudes, stop that, man. I mean, come on, man, that ain't how it go. They refused to listen because it felt good to them, and their heart was so hardened, it seemed good to them. And now look,
the blind leading the blind, Dex.
Yes,
where that gonna get you?
Yeah, in the grave or in the ditch. You follow what I'm saying? So. This is something that we're saying. This is why I tell a lot of people, be careful what you say, because the less you say, less you got to take back. Because when you're judging something that's on the move, listen to me carefully now. Not something stagnated, not something dead in the past. I'm talking about something lively, vivacious, on the freaking move. You have to be careful how you judge something that's on the move because you don't know the finish. You don't know the end game. You don't know the finish line, the checker flag. You don't know that. Nipsey had the marathon, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And look, from how Nipsey came from humble beginnings to iconic rapper. Think about that. And my girl at one time used to braid his hair. I think I told y'all that story before. You follow what I'm saying? So how do you get there? You keep moving. You don't stop. Just like A1 was saying, just like Hoop Jargon was saying. No matter what, I put my head down and thrust forward and release all fuselage because I was like a jet trying to get to my destination because he had an aim and he had a goal and he knew what he needed to do to meet and overcome all difficulty that was in his path. This is what we're witnessing, and people want to laugh because it look a little messy. I told you it's some chaos there because we're actually witnessing his flaws unfurl right before our eyes. But I'm quite sure a lot of us in whatever perspective, sport, or video game that we played, sometimes we played our video game, we get a new game, we suck at it, right? We suck at it, admit it, we suck at it. And then we start playing and playing, and all of a sudden you're getting better. Now we feel comfortable, we can go online and play people, and we might kind of suck at playing people a little bit. Then all of a sudden we get better and better and better, and pretty soon we in a club, people inviting us to clubs and inviting us to, video game parties and things of that nature. And people are starting clapping for us, and you start ascending and ascending. What about the person that laughed at you, calling you dumb, stupid, idiot, playing this freaking video game, and you suck, right? They probably was true. It probably might have been true at the time, but they kept it going, kept it going. Even though you was getting better, they still kept it going because they wanted to hold on to their narrative. And look
They
how
caught the vapors.
yes. What is that rapper name that help his boys make money every month? Like they making like $25,000 a month just playing video games. You know what that rapper is? Is that Lil Durk?
You probably talking about T Grizzly.
Yeah, T Grizzle. There you go. Thank you. No Panic. Shout out to No Panic. T Grizzle. T Grizzle's making a bunch of money, right? And then he put his homeboys on. And now his homeboys is making $20,000 to $25,000 a month playing video games. They ain't begging nobody. Everybody's eating. That's how it's done. And just think when he first put his partners on, they probably was some hood type dudes like, man, I ain't playing no damn video games. You know what I mean? And he's trying to explain to him, it's mud in this, bro. You ain't got to be out here in the mud trying to get it. You can be at the crib learn how to play these games, and boom, 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 boom. And, you know what I'm saying? And now look at them. They live in a decent life. $20,000 a month is pretty good, right?
Dex,
That's what is that what like 1.2 million a year?
How many homies we got in the hood that got hella talent and weird shit? Like I had homies like T Lloyd. He was valedictorian, bro. Gangsters motherfucker in there, but he went to class, got all A's. Didn't study nothing. Shit was easy. Right? It's so many cats in the hood, and ego gets in the way. That's why I go back to Jello. Ego's thrown out the way. He hearing all the bullshit people saying. He got tunnel vision. You know what that takes. Like I can't explain it, man. It's just like he has to look in himself in the mirror. He has to sit down by himself, close that door, and put his phone away or look at that bullshit. It's either or. And he's not ignoring it. He sees it. So he's probably looking at it. He's probably writing shit down, who's saying what, and making check marks, bro. That fuels an athlete like Jello. When you're that guy, when you're that type of guy, that fuels you. So, man, like you said, Dex, be careful of what you're saying, man, because that if you keep playing, and it's called repetition after repetition. Pretty soon you're gonna get good. Repetition after repetition. Pretty soon you're gonna get good. So Be careful, man. He's coming, and it's gonna happen. And it takes. He only can sign with one team. It ain't got to be all 30 teams. It takes one.
Right. And before you go, no panic. I just want to share this, and this is why I use that phrase. Be careful how you judge something that's on the move, because if you notice anything that's on the move, whatever debris that's on it, and that debris just represent excess weight, whatever debris that's on it, it tends to fly off of it, right? It tends to remove off of it. That's just the in physics, that's called inertia, right? So you move in one way, and then the state of inertia is causing stuff to fall off of you. And so the more you move, the more stuff fall off. Just
Yep.
like A1 said, the more repetition, the better you're going to get. Or you're going to, the muscle memory start kicking in, things of that nature. Because most of this talent is muscle memory. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see Kobe make those difficult shots, or Kevin Durant make those difficult shots, that's muscle memory. It doesn't matter what the defender is doing. You still got to do what you do and keep your form. And most likely the ball is going to do what it's supposed to do. Right?
Dex,
It's
why
only,
do you think Kobe worked on one move for 3 hours
yep,
straight?
that's right.
It
JJ
didn't
Redick.
matter who
Yep,
was in front of him.
that's right. That's what JJ Redick said. Sure did. He said he worked, and he said he might have used that move twice in the game.
Yep.
You follow what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Gilbert Arenas said he said, man, I want to watch this dude pregame. They said Kobe was full go. Had the dudes hitting him. Got mad at the one dude saying, Raja Bell's not going to guard me like this. He's going to guard me this. He's going to take his left hand to do that. The dude knew what everything Raja Bell was going to do to him, so he wanted to emulate that in pregame. So he said for hours straight, he worked on one move and had them dudes hitting him like it was game time.
Yep,
Muscle memory.
exactly.
Muscle memory.
Yep, exactly.
No matter
And
what Raja Bell do, if I do this, my feet work right, I'm going to get the shot off.
Yep. And so, like I said, before we let No Panic go ahead and cook up, I remember Liangelo in the Slam magazine was saying that I think, was it Slam magazine or was it another interview? Maybe it's that Cool Kicks interview, where he said that they was complaining that they don't have enough footage of Liangelo. Remember, because he was off basketball, he was healing on his ankle, and there was really no footage of Liangelo, right? And then Liangelo started putting little footage on his Instagram, things of that nature, bouncing the ball, slamming with his left hand, working out with Lonzo and Eli Scott, and things of that nature. So now we're getting the opportunity to get footage, whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? Because he didn't say that it wasn't no good footage of him. He just said it wasn't no footage of him. And this is what a lot of people was talking about. And I'm quite sure the people he's talking about was probably, scouts and things of that nature, maybe overseas or in the States. I don't know. He didn't really go into details about it. But the people that he said there's not enough footage of them, now we're getting footage. And now that we're getting footage, right? Like I said, whether it's good or bad footage, now they have something to look at and put Jello in certain situations, or take clips out of Jello in certain situations and see if he NBA ready, if he's G League ready, if he's Summer League ready, or whatever, overseas ready, whatever form of professional basketball that there is. Now people can go ahead and get these clips off of YouTube, or ask Hoops or Highlights or Ball of Life. These people that's putting these, or even the NBA app, things of that nature, and get the clips and see what they see of it, and then they'll render a judgment. So yeah, go ahead, No Panic, do your thing, bro.
I mean, I really had nothing to say too much. I just been kind of listening.
Well, what's good, No Panic?
What's up?
Well, what talk to me about Liangelo Ball? What you think he gonna do in a few hours?
But no, I did have a question. Like, we all been talking about as far as like criticism. I was saying criticism against him in the field. Like, what happened about?
What are you talking about, man?
No, they've been talking about Jello just now. I've been so in the back before I get on. I kind of hear you talking about.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. Well, no, listen, you can criticize whatever you want to criticize.
Yeah.
I'm just putting out a warning that be careful what you say, or the less you say, the less you have to take back. Because a lot of people, No Panic, we got to keep it a buck, man. You know what I mean? It's easy, right? It's easy to criticize. It's easy. I mean, we can criticize each other all day long. That's easy. But once you remove yourself from the critiqueness and actually put yourself in real life and you compare your skill against that person's skill, how would you look? You understand what I'm getting at?
So okay, say that one more time. Say that one more
Like
time.
say for instance, if I'm just criticizing
Uh,
you, no panic, right? You a hell of a football player or whatever, uh, sport, Batman or rugby, whatever you guys do out there,
yeah.
and I'm criticizing you, but then when it's time for me to play the rugby, I have no clue. I really don't play this sport. I'm never that good at it. I'm an athlete, but I'm really not that good at it. And then you look at me with your hands folded and be like, and you criticizing me about what I do for a living, and you can't even muster getting the ball and running it through these uh, roughnecks to try to advance this ball. You know what I'm saying? You won't even get out here and do that. Because once you see how big and humongous some of these guys are, fast, powerful, you're not trying to put your bones at risk, but you're judging me. You're criticizing my performance. How dare you? It's more so like that. You follow what I'm saying? Because like I said, we all can criticize, no problem. But a real critique is a person like say for instance Steve Smith, right? He does the NBA play by play sometimes, or he a color analysis, and he talk basketball. But we all know that at one time Steve Smith was an all-star, right? In basketball, played in
Yeah.
the NBA Finals, right? So we know he have accolades. So to some degree we can respect that. But then you have guys like what a Stan Van Gundy. I don't think he ever played basketball, but he has a mindset, right? But his critiquing of basketball is different from just somebody just trying to be silly. Because
Right.
his critique, yeah, go ahead.
He got it. So say Stan Van Gundy walks into a locker room. Immediately, all those guys know he's been coaching. He started in the film room, putting film together. So when you start in the film room putting film together, same thing as Eric Spoelstra. They started in the film room. So what does that tell you? They started in the mud, the X's and O's, learning the game, what is what, offenses, defenses, all that. When to call timeouts, adjustments. They did that. They started there and then worked their way up and then worked their way up. So they earned that respect to say, okay, I put enough work into the game. I may not have played it, but I know the game from an X's and O's standpoint to critique.
Right. And what about if you laughed at him, A1 or no panic? Oh man, you just a film room guy, man. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't good enough to be a scout. Because you gotta be a film room, then scout, then you
Right?
work your way up to
Exactly.
assistant and things of that nature. You ain't
Yep.
gonna be no scout, man. You follow what I'm saying? Just think
Right.
about that. Just think of people who's laughing at him at one
Exactly.
time. And now he won what 3 championships as a coach and been to a plethora of NBA finals. You understand what I'm saying now? Unless if
Yep.
you don't understand that, I don't know how else to break it down. Because he was in the film room doing his work, putting in the sweat equity, and he was on the move. So he's still on the move. So you finna judge that because he's in a film room, and now you want to belittle him and degrade him to some extent. You know what I'm saying? Thinking you're superior than thou.
And
So
he's what five all of 5'10", 5'9", don't look
yeah,
nothing like a hooper.
exactly. But I think no panic is more so saying that we're trying to say don't criticize Liangelo. I think that's where he's getting at. But that
Oh
ain't what we
no,
get.
no, no. See, the thing
No,
is,
no, no.
he's in
Ain't
that.
that? Ain't even that. Ain't even that.
Yeah,
My thing
he's
is
in
right here.
that.
Like,
Go ahead, go ahead.
no, you wait for this because I want to make sure I kind of
I was
get a
just
good
saying, no,
grasp.
he's in that. When you step into the arena, oh, we know we getting scrutinized. We know it.
Right?
It is
Yeah.
what it
Exactly.
is. When we step into the ring, we accept that. That's part of the game. But it doesn't take away from the unfair scrutiny, right? So there is unfair scrutiny, which we still have to take regardless.
Right,
But
right.
it's just, man, I would, I used to, man, like, really, bro, like, I wish you would come here and see why, the reason why I'm not starting, or I got drafted by Tennessee, and all we was is 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We handed it off to Eddie George every damn play. It was that we didn't throw the ball but number 19 times a game. The guys don't realize that. All they see is he's not playing.
Right.
And that's where the frustrating part comes in, bro. Frustrating part, because you guys aren't there. You're not seeing Jello or what he's going through to probably making 100 makes in a row. You know what I'm saying? We don't see that, but he's putting in that work. And I can't see when guys do that. I pray all the time, man, that they come on the other side victorious, because it shows people. You're gonna have your haters, but even the haters, it shows them like, damn, okay, maybe I can change and do some shit and make shit happen. It switches people's attitudes when they see a guy come from, because he's getting it out the mud right now.
Right.
And I remember A1, right? I have a friend when I used to live in Texas. I got a friend named Fred Burley. I don't know if you guys remember that name. I'm quite sure you probably would. Fred Burley, right?
Okay.
Fred Burley played with an NCAA Player of the Year, right? He played at Oklahoma State.
Okay.
And he was a forward. The player he played with was Big Country, Brian Reeves.
Brian Reeves.
And I used to always ask him, I was like, damn, man, why people always give that white boy so much credit and stuff like that? And he said, hold up, Dex. Hold up, man. He said, nobody could stop that dude. He said his game looked awkward, but nobody could stop him. What was that? What league was that? The Big 8?
Big 12.
The Big 12. Yeah, the Big 12. Yeah, the Big 12. Nobody can stop that dude, man. I said the dude was just, like him and Eric Montross. He said those dudes, nobody could stop. But of course, their pro career didn't, pan out the same. But in college, he said you couldn't even stop them dudes. And he played alongside a Big Country. So and and every time I used to ask him about, the Brian Reeves, episode, I think when he got drafted by Vancouver. I think with Vancouver Grizzlies. Yeah. And when he was there, and I said, man, what's up with him? Blah, blah, blah. He a bust. He a bust. And you know how that talk is. Because I didn't really know no better. I mean, you was young, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really know no better about, like you say, that other side of the ball. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I never played at that level. Because in high school it's still a joke. It's just I'm just more talented than you. I'm just more faster than you. You follow what I'm saying? The regiment ain't as stiff. Even though it's a stiff regiment, if you don't do anything, high school is a stiff regiment. But when you go to that next level, that high school regiment was child's play. So since I never went to that regiment, I didn't know. And like I said, he used to rail about Big Country, Fred Burley. If you can look him up. He played on that Final Four team. I think they got beat by UCLA with the O'Bannon brothers. I believe it was 94, 95, somewhere around there. That's Fred Burley was on that team, and he was a forward. And Fred Burley could hoop.
God bless the O'Bannon brothers, man. Because of them, that's why these kids getting paid right now.
Getting paid right now, right? They initiated that, sure did. So and Fred Burley could hoop, because that's how I knew him, because we used to hoop and shit like that, right? And me and him played on one time. We played on the same team in the league, and that dude Fred Burley, he could do all kind of dunks. He could shoot, and he was like 6'. Where was Fred Burley? Like 6'7", 6'7", 6'8", but he can do everything. He never really played low though. He never would really play low, but he can shoot anywhere on that court, man. And I used to say, man, why the heck are you not in the league? And he said, because of my attitude. No, he would say his attitude. His attitude was messed up, because he had a messed up attitude to some extent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that kept him from being out of the league. But as far as his athleticism and his basketball powers, the dude was a beast. And I just couldn't, because he can dribble. He was like 6'7", 6'8", and he can actually dribble the ball. And he was a lefty. You know what I mean? And I just couldn't understand why he wasn't in the league. And I used to always ask him questions about Big Country. And he used to tell me, don't diss Big Country. He used to be like pissed. You know what I'm saying? He was like, nah, don't diss Brian Reeves, man. That dude was awesome. He said him and Eric Montross, you couldn't stop them dudes. I don't care what you did or what kind of defense you try to scheme up. Them dudes was basically somewhat unstoppable when it comes down there in that low post area.
You
You
know
know what
what,
I'm saying?
Dex? He just going to bat for his teammate, a guy he went to war with. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
like a real one ain't gonna let you talk about his teammates. You know what I'm
Nah, he
saying?
sure wouldn't. He wouldn't let me talk about him.
You know what I mean? Like a real one ain't. You know what I mean? Like went to practice with the dude, saw the dude probably working out extra. All that, goes into the character of a man, man, when you see that shit. So, shout out to your boy, man.
Right, and that's why I had a fun for the behind the scenes because, like I said, just dealing with Fred Burley, just dealing with him, right?
Yeah.
Just dealing with Fred Burley, seeing how polished he was. And that was back 95, 96 or somewhere around there. That was
Mm-hmm.
back. That was back. No, I don't no, I take that back. It wasn't no 95, 96. That's when he played. This was towards the 2000s. Yeah, this was towards the 2000s. And I used to wonder why, when I think he did go overseas, if I'm not mistaken. I think he did tell me he had a tour of duty overseas, but like I said, his attitude kept him off the court. But nevertheless, it gave me a fondness of what happens behind the scenes, the way he tore into me, you know what I'm saying, about, trying to undervalue Brian Reeves in that Oklahoma City
Right.
Cowboys Final Four team. Because, like I said, my boys beat them. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
Right.
bragging on my UCLA at the same time talking down on Big Country.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And they only beat them by what? A last second shot by Tyus Edney. I
Yeah,
think
down
that's
there.
it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
game.
He took it all the way down.
He
Yep.
took it all the way down the court. I think that was that game. Yeah. So they could have easily went to the championship. You know what I mean? But yeah, he talked about that A1. So that's why I respect how you and Hoop Jargon y'all journey. And this is why I always talk about I respect the journey of Liangelo because, like I said, we're actually witnessing it live in color in 3D. And some of us witness it up close. And I'm one of the some of us that witness it up close right there live. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that journey. And it's hard for me to not accept it because I don't know everybody's journey. Just like I didn't know your journey. I remember you now, A1. I
Mm-hmm.
remember you. Once you told me your real name, I was like, oh shit, I do remember old boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's even though I know Hoop Jargon real name, I didn't know Hoop Jargon because he played, like you say, in the what's that, the HBCU. So I wasn't really following that basketball circuit and things of that nature. But at the same time, both of y'all have y'all journey. Both of y'all know what it's like being in that locker room, and both of y'all know what it's like being, out there trying to pursue your dreams on the other side when we're not seeing the ball being passed, we're not seeing the ball being dribbled. It's still a
Yeah.
journey on the other side as well.
Yep. You're not allowed to do shit, man. You can't. You want to go hang out. It's all decisions. So that's why I'm saying, like, I know what he's doing. He wants to go. He want to be part of that fraternity, bro. It's like as a kid, I'm gonna be a Hall of Famer. Everybody, bro. So let's take instance for football. Football's been playing 100 years now, 90 years, so give or take,
Right.
and it's only 300 men that made the Hall of Fame, bro. That's less than 0.5% ever.
That's
Like,
crazy.
you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
So to
crazy.
even get drafted, you're 1 in 300,000. So the the numbers are just against you, right? To even get drafted. You dig what I'm saying? So
Right.
I need to break it down to the people that listening. What Jello's trying to do is 1 in 300,000. And you want to criticize the man? He deserves all the criticizing for his hoop game. You know what I'm saying? But don't criticize for the man's journey. Let him do his thing. Let his journey play out the way it's going to do. Criticize his game. Don't criticize his journey.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm gonna get a little personal here, right? There was, when I was in Texas, I got two stories actually, but both of them is related to athleticism. First, I'm gonna tell the other one. I met Lewis Billups. I don't know if you remember that name, A1. Lewis Billups was a cornerback for the Cincinnati Bengals. right?
Okay.
And he played. He the one allowed. I think it was John Taylor to score that touchdown. And I remember used to ask him about that, right?
In the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, right? Because he
Mhm.
used to always say that John Taylor was a beast, and a lot of people really didn't realize how good John Taylor was because of
Yeah.
Jerry Rice was on the other end.
Hell yeah, John Taylor. John Taylor allowed. I mean, he allowed Jerry to go 1-on-1 because you couldn't double. You couldn't double
Right, you couldn't
Jerry
double either
because you
one.
had to
Right, you
play.
couldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
right,
Taylor will light your ass up for 200 in a heartbeat.
right. So I used to ask Lewis about that. That Super Bowl and stuff like that. And basically, he used to say how good John Taylor was and things of that nature. He was very underrated, and a lot of people don't really speak about him because of Jerry Rice. And he used to date Rex Chapman's daughter. He was gonna let me meet Rex Chapman one time, but of course I wasn't able to meet him. But he used to date Rex Chapman's sister, Lewis Billups. And their situation was kind of rocky, but Lewis is he was a little crazy. I think he had the CTE before they even knew CTE, because his attitude would come and go. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, other than that, he was a somewhat of a good guy. But he almost let me meet Rex Chapman one time, because I did want to meet Rex Chapman. Those who don't know who Rex Chapman is, he was a point guard. He played with Charlotte, the Charlotte Hornets, and things of that nature.
College guy.
College
Too.
standout. Yeah, he was a college standout. Most definitely was a college standout. That was at Kentucky. Yeah. He was a college standout at Kentucky, Rex Chapman. I think Rex Chapman played with Kenny Skywalker, right? Didn't they play together?
Yeah,
I think him and
Chapman
Kenny
had wiggle.
Skywalker.
He was like the original white chocolate.
Right. He was the original white chocolate. Exactly. Right.
Wait,
Yeah.
Dex and A1.
Oh,
I'm not
Nico.
sure.
I mean, Rico, what's up with you?
What's up, panel? How y'all doing? You just said they had a backcourt of Rex and Skywalker?
No, I don't think Skywalker played in the backcourt. I think it was a forward.
Oh, well, no, they had those two on the team. That was, hey.
Say that again?
That sounds, just having a Rex and Skywalker on the team, that sounds fire. I'm sorry.
No, Rico, I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah,
it
was unfair, Rico. It was unfair. They was ballers.
They was ballers too?
They started that shit long time ago.
Hey, keep on going, man. I'm learning right now.
Okay. I really can't hear you because you sound like you was going in and out. Oh, yeah. That Kentucky team was a pretty good team. Yeah, that Rex Chapman and Kenny Skywalker. But yeah, nevertheless, then the other story I had was, if you look at my picture that I have of my profile, right? You see me in the red and the chick that's with me there. That young lady, that was my girl at one time, right? She ended up marrying a dude by the name of Derek White. Now, I'm quite sure you don't remember Derek White. He was a professional player as well, played with the Dallas Cowboys, but he got drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, right? That's her husband. She got 2 kids by him. But I had it first, like Ray J. I hit it first. But nevertheless, Derek White was a high school standout. He was a college standout. He played at the University of Oklahoma, right? Under Barry Switzer. And he was a gentleman, unfortunately, that got the touchdown scored on him against in the Orange Bowl against the Miami Hurricanes with Michael Irvin. Remember that touchdown Michael Irvin scored to win the game for the Miami Hurricanes versus Oklahoma Sooners? Well, Derek White, he's not my homeboy. I know him, but he's not my homeboy. He was the defensive back that Michael Irvin beat for that touchdown. But nevertheless, he has his stories, right? Where he played with Minnesota, got drafted by Minnesota, end up in Denver on their practice squad, and then went down to the Dallas Cowboys and eventually got cut. But his workout regimen was crazy, A1. And all the workout that he have done and all the rigorness that he'd been through, he still wasn't able to get to that plateau. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's nothing guaranteed. Rico, no panic, A1. There's nothing guaranteed. You can work hard, but it's nothing guaranteed. But you just have a better chance if you keep yourself on the move and then you do it standing still.
Because when you get to that level, it's all about fit. Like sometimes you don't want to get drafted because you get drafted by the team that you're not a good fit with. Like if I got drafted by the Raiders, like they were supposed to, yeah, they were supposed to take me in the third. They called me in the third. It was said it was out of me and this linebacker. They took the linebacker. Called me in the fourth round. It was out of me and the safety. They took the safety. You know what I mean? So those was like, then I never talked to Tennessee ever. Never. No, not at the Senior Bowl, nowhere. Not at the combine, nowhere. They end up drafting me. And I'm just like, my agent's like, man, you just got to go in there. And, they wanted me to be a punt returner and kick returner. I ain't never just did that. That was like an afterthought. That was just something I did. I was a slot. The way these dudes is gigging right now, I would love to play in this league right now, but it's just about fit. You know what I'm saying? When you get to that place like that, it's about fit, because I can tell you right now in practice, the vets will only go with me. I had the starting corners, Darren, get up. They will only go with me because I gave them that work quick. I was fast. But, I wasn't near no type of game plan because I wasn't the type of player they didn't know what to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no reverses. It wasn't no quick slants from the slot. It wasn't no quick outs to get the ball into my hand and let me do my thing. I would love that. I would kill motherfuckers at practice. So, and not be able to play, bro. Be on the practice squad inactive. So it just feels like you fucking sad. But you killing motherfuckers in practice and nobody can see it. You can't film it and send it to your homies. They don't want to hear that shit. You dig what I'm saying? All they see is, damn, D Hall inactive. Damn, he on practice. Damn, he inactive. Damn, he inactive again. You know what I'm saying? So you battling that shit every day going into your room by yourself, bro. It's just like, nigga, you don't know how many times a motherfucker to cry themselves to sleep over a game. So you just gotta, sometimes it's like, damn, like this game got this control of me. Like it's my fuck, you know what I mean? It's making me argue with people. I'm losing friends over a game, bro, because they don't understand what's going on. Only you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I know where he's at, bro. That's why you see that's why I look at his attitude. He's always, hey, what's up? Yeah. Because he's fucking fired up.
Exactly.
He hears it, bro. I'm telling you, he hears it. And I'm telling you, when he's waking up at 3 a.m, probably going to go shoot because he got a chip on his shoulder. It's tough, bro. It's tough.
And listen, and the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, that I have the optimistic mindset the way I have, and sometimes I have to go against people who have a pessimistic mindset, and it may be because based on lifestyle, I don't know, but I just had the privy to grow up and be amongst players that played in the NFL and players that played in the NBA. I'm talking about actually like interacting with these people.
Man, that's
You know what I'm
LA,
saying?
bro. That's LA. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Interacting like it's nothing. Sometimes we talk about the good old days and what we did in high school, and sometimes I ask them about, their journey in their professional field and things of that nature, and they ask me about aspects of my life. You follow what I'm saying? And like I say, one of the things, and this is why I appreciate so much what A1 and Hoop Jargon, one of the things that's so commonly relative is that the journey. They always use that word journey. You know what I mean? That's the optive term, word, phrase, however you want to look at journey. You follow what I'm saying? They always use the word journey, and I just thought it was fascinating. Whether I talk to, I'm going to name drop. I'm sorry, I got a name drop. Whether I talk to my boy Stacey Augman, Derek Holmes, Ricky Irving, Marcus Robinson, Chris McAllister. Chris McAllister is a little younger than me, but I know his family.
McAllister's baller, boy.
Yeah, exactly, right? Chad Brown. Chad is a little, Chad's a little different, but he can be cool sometimes, but he kind of got a little different mindset, but it's all good, Chad. You know what I'm saying? Chad Brown, Paul Pitts, Tony Crutcher, like I said, Louis Billups, Fred Burley, Jamal Lewis. That is now. Listen, me and Jamal Lewis used to kick it. I'm talking about Jamal Lewis played with the Baltimore Ravens, the one who had the record of yards in the game.
Yeah,
Right.
freaking nature.
Right.
I
I
got
mean,
to
that
see him
dude is
live.
huge.
Yeah,
That dude is huge.
yeah.
Trust me.
I got
The
to see
way
him
his
live in
yeah,
action, baby.
yeah. The guy, his physique he's built like a linebacker, but he's a running back. And yeah, we had some really interesting conversation. It was certain things he didn't like to talk about because we mostly hung out after his career. You follow what I'm saying? Or when his career started winding down, and then they end up basically pushing him out the league. And then who took his place? Was it Ray Rice? Didn't Ray Rice take over for him?
Nah, it was they had like a
Running back by committee?
yeah, but before they drafted Ray Rice, so I think it
Okay,
was
then they drafted Ray Rice.
yeah.
Okay.
They got the guy from Kansas City. Remember what was his name? He was a baller at Kansas City. That he came in after
Oh, Holmes, Priest Holmes?
Priest Holmes. Priest Holmes came
Yes.
in for like 3 years, and then they translated into Ray Rice.
Ray Rice. Okay, yeah. Priest Holmes. Okay, yeah. So they end up kicking him out. And in that part, he don't really like to talk about how they shoved him out the league. They basically, because he still had enough. He told me he still had skills to play, but they kind of, pushed him out the league because of, the contract stuff. So it's a lot of politics to go in there. You had the contract stuff, and then he had the off the field issues. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
Some criminal off the field issues. So they kicked him out the league basically based on that. But he said he still had a lot in the tank. He said he could have played at least 3 or 4 more years of football at a high level. And, that would have garnered him a bigger contract. So the league basically ushered him out to bring in a youth movement where that youth movement was a running back contract. 3 years? Is it every 3 years for a running back?
Dex. Okay, it's a thing in the league called NFL pension. All right, so you have to get in 3 years, 3 years of documented play to get your pension. And pension, you get 150 racks once you turn 45, and then 50 grand a year for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? They'll stop motherfuckers from I've seen them stop people on the team, stop them the last 3 games because they only got 3 games left of their pension, and cut them the next year. They're out the league.
Wow, that's crazy.
They don't want
Did
to
you guys hear that?
They don't
Are
want to
you
pay
guys
the
listening to
pension.
this?
All right, I'm 6 games away from my pension. Refuse. They wasn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So it is. That's part of it as well, bro. It's 25. Once you're 25 in the NFL and you're floating around, that's it. That's why it stands for not for long. You know what I mean? And so, again, the journey. You know what I'm saying? Knowing all these things, all these elements against you, and you still have faith through that. It goes back to Jello. That's why, I just, you ain't never heard me like really come to bat like this. You know what I'm saying? But I have to because I know what he's going through right now, bro. And somebody got to like speak up because he's going to the crib and he's looking at his phone. He's seeing this shit. And what it is doing, what it's telling me is fueling him. He's playing all the basketball he can fucking play. He's working out as much as he fucking can. That's just, it's fuel. That's what it's telling me.
So is he good enough? Is Liangelo Ball good enough to get to the next level and have a sustainable career?
Everybody, I mean, he's good enough. You know what I'm saying? But it just depends on what role. Again, it goes to what situation he's in. If he's in a situation where the offense calls for him to sit in the corner, catch and shoot, shit, he could put up 10 threes a game and make 4 or 5 of them. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? He'll be a floor spacer. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what squad picks him up and what role. That's going to be his role until he expands his game, shows he can stay in front of these quick guys in NBA because he's going to have to guard 1s and 2s. And, he's 6'5", so he's in that in-between stage where can he guard a 3? Imagine him against Paul George. That's going to be a tough one. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on where is he just going to be an offensive guy, going to give you 12, 13 points a game and shoot 40% from three. If that's his calling, let it be. Might be sixth man of the year. You don't know unless you give him that shot. So what he's doing is just creating opportunity for himself, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
I didn't play 2 years. Dex practice squad. 2 years. I didn't see no fucking field. This is at Colorado State where I was fucking first team all conference as a receiver and special teams player of the year 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, right?
Yeah. Like
go check his Wikipedia,
shit,
y'all. Go check his Wikipedia.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I get to NFL and it's just like, bro, this shit's the same. I'm killing niggas. But why am I not playing? Because I'm sitting behind there. It's a pecking order. There's money involved.
You're Derek Mason, right? You was Derek Mason,
I
right?
sat behind Derek Mason, who's 3 years in a row a Pro Bowler. It's nothing I can do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's just all about situation and fit and where he can go, man.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's the only thing that that I appreciate with Liangelo Ball is that he hasn't quit. Like Flight had the last stream up about his resiliency, because I can identify with that to some degree. Not as an athlete,
but it goes in life. Yeah, fuck sports. That's life, bro.
Right. That's
life.
You
know
what
I mean?
Exactly.
That's life.
Yep. That's life. And that's all I've been saying. I'm just trying to merge those two together. You follow what I'm saying? Now, in life, Liangelo is set, right? He's set. His family's set, brother set, mom, dad set. You know what I mean? They're cool. Even grandparents are set. So he's set on that. So it's not like if he doesn't play basketball or dribble a ball again in his life, he's going to go to Skid Row downtown LA. No, that's not going to happen. But just the journey and the resiliency, when people say you can't and you try to continuously to prove that you can, the little ant that moved the rubber tree plant. That's what I appreciate about the young man, because outside of that, me and him has nothing in common. Okay, he's tall, light skinned, handsome. I'm short, dark, and ugly. Okay, so we have nothing in common as far as that, right? Only thing we do have in common is we both are constantly on the move, constantly trying to stay in the lane of our aim to meet a goal or that target and have a purpose in life. This, what he feels his purpose is to be an NBA basketball player, at least at this stage of his maturation. Now, when he gets 29, 30, he might have a different trajectory in life. But at this stage, he wants to be a basketball player. At my stage, I want to be a successful businessman. And that's how I try to brand my life. Not my brand, but brand my life. And I'm quite sure that's how he's trying to brand his basketball career as being accepted amongst those elite athletes that we call NBA players. Yeah, you might have to mute your mic, A1, because I know you're washing your dishes.
Yeah, my bad. We good.
And you can't never outgrow movement. You don't never outgrow movement. Once you cease to move, that's it. You're done. You're dead, right? Time stops. So while you're here and your heart is beating, continue to strive to meet your personal goals. Not goals that everybody put on you, not expectations or perspective that people put on you, but your own personal goal. What makes you happy? And that's your success. Whatever makes you happy is your success. So with this young guy, his success and makes him happy is being an NBA basketball player and being amongst his brothers, whether it's Lonzo or LaMelo, or just be in the same proximity of athleticism and NBA player.
Dex, all right.
Yes, sir.
Listen to this. He got 3 brothers, right? Just think about what did they talk about from age 5? What did they talk about when they went to
playing
before
together
they went to
in
bed?
the NBA? Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why you think he's? You don't think they? Come on, bro. Come on. Keep grinding. Come on, bro.
That's a good point. I like how you said that.
Whatever resources you need, keep grinding. We'll give you the resources, but you got
Oh
to
yeah,
do the
yeah,
work.
he got that. Yeah, he got that. He don't have to worry about resources. Yeah,
Right? But you got to do the work. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah,
We'll put you in a position to be successful, but you got to do the work.
exactly.
You got to make it happen. So
No doubt.
that's what they're doing. That's why he's hooping. That's why every chance he take, hoop. Even I heard somebody say, "Shit, hit the pro-ams. Fuck it. Go hook up with these dudes, man, and just go show up and play." They got that block ops where, you know, they got those KD and all those dudes. Shit, I'm sure them dudes, you hit up KD, Agent hit up KD, yeah, man, tell that dude to come out. I guarantee it. So,
Yeah.
you know, maybe he
Well,
needs to
right
switch
now,
roles a
A1,
little
he's
bit.
locked into the Greensboro Swarm. You know,
Yeah, yeah, I'm
that's
talking
his
about before
floor
the
right
season
now.
start.
For anybody that's have any doubts with Liangelo, his floor, that's his floor. Like the worst could happen is Greensboro, right? But that's, to some people, that's the best. But the worst could happen for Liangelo right now in his sojourn into the NBA is the Greensboro Swarm. And there's people even laugh at that, A1. Oh, Greensboro Swarm, why is he going to Greensboro Swarm? They don't want him. They don't want. Listen, I don't know about all that.
Ask them this, Dex. All right, the G League, right? Didn't they a couple of years ago? Them dudes make 175 now. Ain't that
Yes.
that's what they make? All right, so you
Yes.
tell me how many because percentage wise in the United States of America, that's considered 2%. So those guys in the G League are 2% of the highest grosses in you know, as far as individual
They're
what
well
they
to
make
do,
a year.
right? That's well to
You know
do.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So there goes the facts of it. So, you know, people could talk what you want to talk. So I'll make 175 for 5 months of work and it's a hoop game. Oh, miss me with that. I'm there all day.
Right. And there's perks that go along with that too. So
Yes, sir.
it's not just a cash cow. They have some perks that go along with it to help your endorsements and things of that nature.
But
So
the
yeah,
perk is the opportunity to play for 30 teams every game.
every game, right? And make millions, turn your hundreds of thousands into millions, right?
There you
And
go.
love and play a game that you love to play for free and get paid millions. So yeah, that's not a struggle. But that's why I don't really use the word struggle. I just say journey. Now, um, when you look at it from that perspective, exactly, that's a nice, well-to-do job. I'm quite sure a lot of us will stab our mother in the back of their neck to make $175,000 a year. You follow what I'm saying? Because some of y'all out here telling on y'all block and y'all ain't making nothing. Y'all just getting a wheat tip money. What a $2,000-3,000, you know what I'm saying, for turning in somebody. So yeah, so we don't want that type of lifestyle. We want a lifestyle that's valuable and sustainable and get us out of the poverty and put us above the poverty line, and hopefully we can live more than check to check a week. Now look, this is one thing I want to say also, guys. If the I don't know how much in the news that you guys are into, but recently a blowhard, and some say conspiracy theorists, a chief conspiracy theorist named Alex Jones, right? He had to pay $45 million to the victims or the parents, victims of the parents of the Sandy Hook thing, because he was too chatty, right? Too chatty about it, and he made light of other people's pain. Now that's 45 million cash money. That's why I say you have to be careful of how you judging something, because it could come back to haunt you. It could come back to bite you in the butt and bite you in the buns. So he have to pay 45 million. I don't know how much will you have to pay. Will it be your pride? Would it be your ego? Would it be your confidence? Would it be your hubris? What would you put on the line for the things that you say about something that's on the move and haven't yet reached a stopping point? Because once you reach the stopping point, then the testimony is over. You can judge it, right? Why it's moving is a testimony. When it stops, it becomes a testament. Okay. I don't know how many of y'all got that in the back, so I'm gonna say that again. When you judging something on the move, you have to be careful because it's in the process of a testimony, right? But when it stops and ceases to exist, when there's no more movement, it becomes a testament. So that's why we have to be careful of what we judge that's on the move. Because some of us that's in this chat, some of us that's on the panel, some of us that's rocking with Flight Sports TV, whatever medium you choose to view this or listen to it to us, you have your on the move. You have your personal journey. And I'm quite sure you journal maybe daily of your improvements. Or you journal daily of some aspects of not so much improvement, but yet you're keeping a record of it. But you're not judging yourself harshly. You're not being overcritical of yourself because you're on the move. And that's why you journal your daily activities to show where you came from as an origin to how much you gain or improve once you reach your destination. But there's people out there whose heart is hard, whose hearts are sour and filled with bitterness. They can laugh and joke thinking that, it's all fun and games. They're judging something, but when they're judging it on the move, it's a slight spin to the judging. Because I can easily judge something on the move, but I only can cherry pick what I judge, right? Or on the opposite side, I can cheer for something that's on the move and I can cherry pick what I'm cheering for. But at the same time, I'd rather cherry pick what I'm cheering for positively than being overcritical, cynical on the negative side of something that's on the move. Because that's frequency. You follow what I'm saying? Why would I want to just have the negative frequency? Why not have the positive frequency? Because they're both frequencies, right? The yin yang, two frequencies, negative, positive. Why take the negative? Because I think the negative is more so, a Debbie Downer. I'd rather take the positive one, right? I'd rather be the uppity usher instead of the Debbie Downer. That's the life I choose to live. And I think I get more being positive than I do negative. Because all of us are positive and negative, strangely mixed. You follow what I'm saying? Now we can highlight the negative or we can highlight the positive. I just rather highlight the positive. That's the only thing that I've tried to do. And I just try to encourage others to highlight the positive, and maybe more positivity will come into your life. Because I'm an example of that. Because I'm a little older than some of you guys. I have my negative aspects in life and took a negative and pessimistic outlook on life. But when I changed the paradigm, oh my God, how things switched in my life. I start acquiring and attracting a whole lot of beautiful things that I've always wanted to acquire and attract them. And sometimes it came in a short period of time. And it even surprised me. I have to pinch myself. You know what I'm saying? So I learned through some aspects of a law of attraction that stay positive, stay on a positive frequency, because maybe a lot of positive things could happen for you and things of that nature. I remember my mom used to tell me, if you see money on the ground, you better pick it up because it might lead you to more money. If you see money on the ground, you pass it by, then you might be telling yourself. And my mom wasn't into the law of attraction, but she was. She just didn't say it like that. You know what I mean? If you pass the money up that you see on the ground, then you're telling yourself you're passing up money. So I don't care if I see a penny, a quarter, a nickel. I just pick it up, put it in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Put some hand sanitizer on my hand and keep moving. And then next thing I know, I look on my phone, got an email, a new contract came through. Do I want to explore it? Please respond. Boom, I explore it. It takes me to a travel. You know what I'm saying? Or I might be doing something and end up in a situation where I can make some money. where I wasn't even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to stay on those lines of positivity, because in this world is so much negative, it's so much darkness, and people love to choose the dark. That's amazing to me. You know what I mean? And then you can just see in them the darkness, and you be like, wow, why would you want to choose darkness when there's so much light? You follow what I'm saying? Because if darkness was so good, why did God say, let there be light? Okay, that's another situation. But anyway, that's why I just love to witness people's journey. And it so happened I'm just happen to be attached to some degree of Big Baller Brand because of Lavar. You follow what I'm saying? And then from Lavar, the children, and I start seeing Lonzo and blah, 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 and it goes on down. Because when the Big Baller Brand was first trying to take off out here in Southern California, I used to hear people say negative things, and it wasn't nowhere near what it is now. I'm just talking about just the t-shirt stuff. Oh, man out there selling t-shirts because the son out there playing AAU basketball. Did you hear what I just said? This man out here is trying to sell t-shirts while his sons are playing AAU basketball. Now look at it. Be careful how you judge something that's on the move. So, you know, that basically what I could say. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody else want to chime in? Because I'm being a little chatty.
Dex.
Oh my God. Look who we got here. Look who we got here.
Dex, where was all that positivity when it was time to be positive with Devontae Graham and Borrego and Gordon Hayward? Because if y'all was a little bit more positive, maybe the karma
First of all,
would have brought some more success to the Hornets, man.
Okay, hold on one second. When you say y'all, FYF, who is it y'all?
You.
Okay, there you go. Be more specific. Now, when it came to James Borrego, I met James Borrego in person, matter of fact. When it came to James Borrego, I just felt that James Borrego was a puppet on a string.
I know, but that's negative. Why couldn't you just harp on the positive? There were some positives there.
Listen, hold on one second. It's not necessarily negative. It's not necessarily positive.
No, that's negative.
No, it's not. It's not negative. It might have a slight negative connotation, but it's not negative. I just said that's what I thought. I'm not saying he is. I never said he was or he is. That's what I thought, right? So, and the reason why I thought that is because of what I've seen. And what I seen was I saw a coach who was gleed in the eyes of Liangelo and went over to talk to his family as a token of appreciation for allowing him to come to Charlotte and put on this display of basketball, that first game of Summer League, because that's where I met James Borrego in Summer League. And I saw all the, you know, the cheerings and all that stuff going on, right? Then all of a sudden, James Borrego get his extension.
I know, but Dex, but you said you like to choose to stay in the positive.
Do you want the answer, or are you trying to just be contentious? Let me know, because then I can switch mode.
All right, go ahead, Dex.
Yeah, so from that point,
I want to say something after y'all finish this. I want to say something to FYI.
Yeah, and then once he got his extension, that 3 years extension, then it seemed like things start to change, because also James Borrego, was a part of LaMelo's camp, basketball camp, brought his kids up and things of that nature. So it seemed like it's going to be a nice little marriage between him and his little rookie sensation. And then, like I said, once he got that extensions, things start to change. I'm hearing the locker room is not feeling him. I mean, this is behind the scenes information. Locker room ain't feeling him. People start to revolt. And then we saw the culmination of that when it reached its apex with James Bouknight. You follow what I'm saying? And I went to a game, right? I went to a game because I want to see what it looks like in person. See, I don't just talk this. Let's get this here. I don't just sit behind a computer and talk this. I'm engaging and lively active with it. Go to a game. I'm spending my hard-earned money. Go to a game. Nice seats. I'm right sitting behind the Charlotte bench, and I'm looking at how they engage with each other. I'm talking about the whole Charlotte Hornets coaching staff. I'm right there. And I was like, wow, there's not too much communication going on timeouts and, while the game is flowing and things of that nature. James Borrego seemed to disassociate himself with aspects of the Charlotte Hornets players. This is what I'm looking at. And ain't no trying to break down a video on YouTube. It's what I'm looking at. That's how I rendered to the conclusion that I come. I can't speak about anybody else. I'm just talking about from my perspective. And then from that, I just give what I see, and people just feed off that, whatever energy that's coming off of that. So that's how I get to that. And it's not saying that I'm positive about it or negative. I'm just reporting as is. So don't kill the messenger.
Okay.
Oh, Flight, you said you had something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to just say this not to pretty much everybody. To be honest with you, at Flight Sports TV, Lonzo, the Ball family, this is that's the lifeblood of this channel. That's the heartbeat and soul. We do a lot of other things. We do a lot of boxing. We may talk NFL. We do it all. But at the end of the day, man, I want to support the Ball brothers. That's what this is all about. At the end of the day, we do have episodes and things of that nature. We have debates and things of that nature that we do. But this, every single night, where we trying to figure out a way to take shots or, I'm not really. That's not really the way that we're trying to move forward. We want to move forward champion. Lonzo Ball champion, Jello, and also LaMelo Ball and Lavar. I'm not really coming in here to talk about the pitfalls. If there's any things that needs to be corrected, let's talk in a solution-based situation, not a dismissive-based situation, not trying to be funny, because when we discussing this Triple B shit, ain't shit funny. This is a very serious matter. We have fun with it, but this is very serious, man. We do this shit every single day. Shit is not all about jokes, so I just wanted to say that. So what's going on, FYI?
Yo, not much, man. Just pulling up.
Right. So go ahead. You about to say something, Dad?
Yeah, I was saying he asked me a couple of more questions now about Gordon Hayward. Let me explain my position on Gordon Hayward, right? Now, with Gordon Hayward, I like Gordon Hayward from college, right? When he was at Butler. I liked him at college because I wanted them to beat Duke. I ain't gonna lie. I was cheering for Butler to beat Duke, okay? They came from not the power conference and things of that nature, and I'm not a big Duke fan, right? I like some Duke players while they was at Duke, but I'm not a big Duke fan because I thought, to me, since I've been on this earth, Duke kind of get away with some stuff, and I thought Duke was a Notre Dame of basketball, and I seen a whole lot of fishy stuff going on with Notre Dame. I'm talking about Notre Dame football, and so Gordon Hayward was a player that I did like coming out of college because of the Duke situation. Even though he failed in the task, I think it was Kyle Singler. That team beat the Butler, you know what I'm saying? When he got to the NBA, Utah, okay, cool. He's at Utah. That's cool. Let's see what he do. Tyrone Corbin is the coach, if I'm not mistaken. He just took over for Jerry Sloan, who's been a long time coach and had the little feud with Darion Williams and things of that nature. And now Gordon Hayward's coming in, represent, like a new beginner for Utah, who I didn't kind of like either with the Stockton Malone combination. I was more so, with the Bulls when they play Utah because of what Utah used to do to the Lakers when the Lakers was in their baby stage. And I didn't like that. And Karl Malone had stuff to say about the Lakers back then with the young Kobe and all, right? So I never did really like Utah from that perspective. He comes in the league, he does what he do, okay? Things happen. He don't. They don't offer him the qualifying offering his rookie extension, and then Charlotte comes in and come with a number, and then Utah match it. So he ended up going back to Utah. Then he ended up in Boston. So I was like, damn, Gordon Hayward's in Boston. Oh shit, you know, Kyrie Irving and that little thing going, that dynamic going on. Okay, cool. What happened with Gordon Hayward, where I start to turn, is when he left Boston to go to Charlotte. I don't even know nothing about the Charlotte Hornets. Trust me. All I know is Michael Jordan's the owner. I don't know really no players. Kemba Walker, that's about it. But what? Kemba Walker's not there. I mean, what the hell? Why would he leave this franchise at that prestigiousness to go to that? That's when I start to look at Gordon Hayward with one eye open, because I didn't see that in that part of his career, that he just want to abandon getting a ring or the best opportunity to get a ring to go to a franchise that was just plummeting. You know, it's straight cellar dweller, bottom feeder. And then so happens, you know, they draft Melo. Okay, they draft Melo with the same situation. And okay, let's see how this works. 2 years with Melo. Ain't working. And it don't seem like he even trying to get out of there. Like, Gordon, you're not even trying to force your way out and get on Brooklyn, or get on with New York, or get on with Denver. You follow what I'm saying? One of those teams that you can really make a difference with. You just want to sit there and rot in New Orleans and hold up their progress. That's when I started looking at Gordon Hayward with a slight eye. Now, who else you asked me about? Oh, Devontae Graham. Now, Devontae Graham. Now, listen, I'm not one of those guys, FYF and stream, that was hard on Devontae Graham. That was new media. New media was about Devontae Graham more so, right? Not me. So let's get that straight. My thing was Devontae Graham when he put out the issue with Jello. The situation with LaMelo, I already knew LaMelo was a better basketball player than Devontae Graham, and it's only soon that the organization should see that. You follow what I'm saying? That was clear as day, right? That he was better than Devontae Graham, taller, faster, more agile. You follow what I'm saying? Had more versatile than Devontae Graham. So I never was crying about that situation. Other people was crying about that situation. My thing with Devontae Graham is when he put the camera on Liangelo, because that wasn't supposed to happen. Only a few people knew that Liangelo was up in Charlotte like that. You follow what I'm saying? So when he put that camera on Liangelo, it just opened up a can of worms. Now everybody's crawling down that rabbit hole to figure out how and why is Liangelo in Charlotte Hornets gear, right? Caused a stir. Trust me, it caused a bigger stir. Nitty did calm the waters, and they did have to answer to the NBA for that. But outside of that, I had no problem with no Devontae Graham. So you need to address that with those people who called him Graham Snacks and Miniature Grams and Mighty Mouse and all that. That's not me.
I think you might have missed the point a little bit, because I don't disagree with the negative criticism for everybody. I think there's a time and place for negative criticism for everybody. That's what I believe. I believe there's always a time and place for that, especially in dire circumstances where, I feel where I think if we talking about Jello and his opportunities to get into the league, it's starting to get dire. Whatever the highest DEFCON is, that's where we in, because he's getting older and more players are coming in, taking up spots. The opportunities is drying up. And the problem with me, out of all the positives we have seen in the past, the problem now is that I feel like there's been a stunt in the development and the growth. And I think there needs to be a change in course and direction if you are truly looking and your desire is to get to the league, then I think there needs to be a serious change in course if you're Jello. That's just my opinion based on what I've seen.
Just keep saying. I think it's plenty of time. I think you may be making a premature situation to say it's dire. But like I said, I ain't here to go 100 different directions with you. But what I will agree with you is with the win. I think that Team BBB has to get a win. It seems to be that it's even almost as crucial right now as Jello having a hell of a game. Let's see what happens. 1:45 tomorrow Pacific time.
I
Pull
know
up.
where I know what you're saying, Flight. It's just what I'm saying is one game right now is not going to right the ship.
No, like
You
I
know,
said,
Okay,
go ahead.
FYF.
it's not about one game. That's not what I'm not referring to one
No, I know. I
individual
wasn't
game.
referring to you. I was just speaking to everybody.
Because when we talking about Jello, and a lot of the criticism thrown at him, it's about
But
the things that he needs to add to be looked at as a viable role player in the NBA. And something's going on now to where those things aren't getting added. Something's stunted. I think
Right.
everybody can admit that
I
there has
can't.
been a slight regression from last summer to this summer. That's visible.
I can't say
well,
that.
listen, Flight. I don't listen. The word dire. Listen, that is so abstract. Okay, right now the guy is only 24 years old. Flight to your disadvantage, your New York Knicks. They were the team that drafted the oldest player to ever play in the NBA as a rookie, and is well over 24 years old. So 24 years old is not a dire. Okay, that's not a dire streak. It's not even close to being a dire streak. Some players come out of college at 24 years old. Okay, so he's not too far behind no 8 ball or things of that nature. I know the NBA is getting young. I mean, they like to draft younger and younger and things of that nature. It's supposed to be a young man's league, but when you use the word dire, I have to humbly disagree because, like I say, the New York Knicks drafted a player like 32 years old or
And I tell
35
you
years
why I
old
said
or
dire.
something to that nature.
I said dire because just like what you said, the New York Knicks drafted a guy at 29. That means this is probably an international guy who's
Most
been
likely,
through.
yes, international.
He's probably been through the rigors of overseas play. I mean, even if you look back to Sabonis, who was drafted, he was an older guy who was a rookie when he came
No
into the
doubt.
league for the
No doubt.
Blazers.
No
So
doubt.
what I'm saying
31.
is
He was 31.
those situations right there are completely different. And sometimes you even have BYU players who played at BYU who have to go on their little trips because they're Mormons and they have
Right.
to sit out
Or
college basketball
Navy
2 and
or
3
Navy
years.
or Navy.
Yeah, and similar. So there are very rare circumstances where you may find older guys being drafted. But in this particular situation right here, I'm not referring to guys that can potentially get drafted. But Jello is no longer eligible for the draft. And so what I'm saying is that the window of opportunity for a player that's undrafted, right? And I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying that window gets smaller every year because you have a new flood of talent coming into the talent pool. And if you're not doing something that's going to elevate you above the talent pool that's coming in, then they're always going to go with the Bryce McGowans.
Right.
And
I agree with
and
that.
they're always going to go with the prospects over you.
I agree
And
with
so
that.
with Jello, good player, I think everybody agrees there, but he's not doing anything to put himself and elevate himself over the prospects.
Well, I
Because
disagree with that.
this is why Bryce McGowan's got the two-way. I know you might disagree, but this is why
This
Bryce
one,
McGowan.
this one I'm talking about, man. I'm not trying to do this every night, man.
But Bryce
I
McGowan's got the
understand.
two-way though, Flight.
I understand. But at the
So
end
are
of the
you
day,
saying all the 2 ways are gone?
I'm saying there's 7 spots left in the league.
No. Are you saying all the 2 ways are gone? That's all I'm saying.
No, I know they're not all gone.
Okay, then. There's bright light in the tunnel.
That's bright light to you?
It's light. As long as there's light.
No, it's definitely light.
Keep moving towards the light.
It's definitely light. But again, if you are looking to, wouldn't you, if you were looking to get in the league, wouldn't you want to be doing everything humanly possible to put yourself in front of as many people as possible?
I don't know what he's doing humanly possible. All I know is that He is playing in the Drew League, and he got a game tomorrow. And we're going to see what he can do against Frank Nitty,
No.
who
I
was in the
understand
backcourt
tomorrow
with
is
Damian Lillard at Weaver State.
Yeah,
that's
that's
gonna
what
be
Plays
we
in
said. We're not trying
and
to go
played
off your
with
narrative. We go
3
on one game at a time,
and
one step at a time. You go into 100 different angles with this
yeah,
shit. You trying to be decisive. You trying to figure out some way to have some type of debate. We really just talking as a
I'm not
way of
debating.
supporting Liangelo and trying to figure out ways of getting him to his ultimate goal.
But
Without trying to be funny,
so are you saying I
like
can't? I'm
funny.
not support because I'm not.
No, you
I'm
can, but
not.
I mean, go ahead, continue.
But I'm
Let me
saying
see if
my
you support.
support. I've supported Jello. I've been supporting him from day one. But I'm just saying I think there needs to be a change in the plan because you've been a free agent for 4 years, and whatever plan you got going on ain't working. And whatever you got going on with the Charlotte Hornets, they still don't want to play you. That man ain't looking right. I'm saying sometimes it's cool to reevaluate your situation and say, I may need to go another way. Because it don't seem like this plan, if there is a plan,
well, we have to at
is
least get
working.
to training camp, and then that will be a whole nother discussion.
Another training
Because
camp?
yeah, don't all NBA players go to training camp?
No, I'm saying how many training camps does he have to go through before you
Listen,
start to realize
I
that
really
girl
don't have
don't
the
want
answer
you?
to that. I don't know about that because they invited him. So see, that's a false narrative right there in itself, and that needs to be put down because you can't say the girl don't want you. The girl keep calling you, say, when you gonna pick me up?
Oh, the girl definitely call you for a free date.
But don't say the girl don't want him.
Especially if you're
Maybe
paying for the meal.
she
They know
want him
Jello
to.
gonna show up. They know Jello's gonna show up if they call him. Jello gonna
Then
always
she.
show up.
But what I'm saying is that don't say she don't want you. Say that she's using you. You could say
Oh yeah,
that.
no, that's most definitely happening. They
Yeah, I
definitely
can
use it.
agree with use, but when you say don't want, no, because even when
So
you use
if a girl
somebody, you want them for
using you,
something.
Dex, she don't want you.
That's not true.
So
You
you
can't
just out here
say that.
simping. You just running around simping, thinking these girls want you.
No, it's that what happens is, see, I'm old enough. Trust me, I've been through a whole lot of relationships. Some good, some bad, some indifferent. Right. Sometimes you know a girl is using you, right? But at the same time, you hoping that one day she be weak enough in her using that she be like, you know what? Let's go get a
Well,
room.
That's called a simp, Dex. Don't do
Let's go get a room.
no. That,
But it
no.
happens. It happens. FYF. We can't say it don't happen. And
oh
some of us
man,
have our simping moments.
Oh man. Oh. I guess that is some semblance of a plan. I guess that's a plan.
yeah. I mean, well, like I said, what I want to advise to you is, like I said, just try to have some optimism. I think the more and more I know that you watch Liangelo very extensive, but just try to watch it a little bit more. And just watch this journey, man. 'Cause I'm telling you, it's going to lead to his ultimate goal. Through hella high water. I don't know how the hell it's going to get done. Whether it's a 10-day, whether hopefully, let's see what happens with the preseason. Liangelo is headed somewhere. Let's see wherever he goes. If he could, seize that opportunity.
I think the
You
biggest
know,
question, Flight, is
yeah.
what is his ultimate goal? Because it
His
don't seem
ultimate
like
goal.
we
Come on,
know.
let's not be silly. His ultimate goal is to get to the NBA. I know
No,
you
no,
about
no,
to.
no, no.
Oh, wait a second before you
That's what
start
we
going.
say.
No, I know that's the ultimate goal.
You know,
Now
you know that for sure.
you might try to say, oh yeah, how was this? I mean, we're not trying to go to 100 different angles. I know for sure that the ultimate goal is to get Liangelo Ball on the NBA roster. The ultimate goal really is to get all three of them playing together. You know, but trust me, if there's another team with interest in Liangelo, I'm pretty sure he would have been there already. The Lavar Ball advocated for him to go to Philadelphia on a talk show. There's no like. Let's just see what happens, man.
No,
But
but
I think
there's
that
no spots in
Liangelo is
Philly.
headed
There's no
somewhere.
spots in Philly though. That's the problem.
No, I know. No, it's not. But it's just an example. In terms of the NBA, when we discuss the NBA, is not just the Charlotte Hornets. So it'll be 29 other teams. Let's see what happens. Let's truly see. Is it just Charlotte or nothing, or let's see what happens. But I do think that Jello is going to seize the opportunity. Let's see what happens. The style of play from the Drew League to the Summer League, or pardon me, yeah, the Summer League and also the G League, or even the Hornets are completely different styles of play. So the way you may look at the Drew League game and you think it's ugly, is disorganized, it's not going to be like that headed into the other situation. So it's going to be a completely different style of play, and I think it's going to be Liangelo more in his natural spot. Let's hope that some of these situations, not just maybe the style of play, but how about him just actually getting runs in, against actual guys on the court. Let's hope that this, and also getting him in shape, because people may say, oh, he's not in the most tip topish shape in the world. No, of course he could possibly get that a little bit sharpened up. And I think this is what this is all about. For Liangelo Ball to walk in the camp is similar to what he did last year, impressing everybody. And even after the Drew League, it's still time before we get to camp, so everybody just need to be patient, and just why don't y'all exercise some faith? Because if you're a true Liangelo Ball fan, this why I'm saying, this why I'm about to really get down to the business with a lot of characters. Are you a true fan of Liangelo Ball? Because Liangelo Ball represents determination, never giving up, overcoming obstacles. He may have went through some of the most shit out of all of them, in terms of just pitfall after pitfall. They all have their own situation, not necessarily even pitfall, roadblock after roadblock. Just with some shit he had to overcome. Oh, this shit happened. Okay, that happened. Okay,
like he ain't got no roadblocks, play.
No, listen, when I mean roadblock, that could be injuries. It could be a numerous amount of things. I'm not getting totally specific. I'm just lumping it all in one. Liangelo Ball has definitely had some adverse situations he had to overcome. Shit ain't just been smooth sailing. I can't allow you to promote that either. We got to stop acting like he didn't overcome nothing. And he's still doing his journey. I don't know if you're a true Liangelo Ball fan. I don't know if you just like him because I don't know. Maybe you see a wave going with him, but I mean, if you're a true Liangelo Ball fan, you're going to have faith. And Liangelo Ball continues to fight and fight and fight and fight. So, like I said, it's all about if you're a true Liangelo Ball fan.
But Flight, when he played, when the NBA cameras was on him, and he actually had an opportunity to showcase himself, he didn't look like he was fighting.
What game are you talking about? This one that just passed?
The one that was just on the NBA app. That's
NBA.
Like
that. That's why I said, yeah. You might say whatever you might want to say with that. The team got blitzed. He was the highest scoring.
No. I'm not talking about the blitz. I'm talking about his energy and effort in that game.
No, I can't say that. I mean, his energy and effort looked like a guy who was playing with 6 guys on the floor. He did the best that he could. I mean, he was playing the whole goddamn game. He didn't sit down for shit. So
that's normal in a pro-am game.
No, I understand it is normal, but what I'm telling you is what I was discussing was the translation. Is like you just kind of mixed up everything that I was saying. I'm not necessarily saying, oh man, in front of NBA scout, the man is about to be in front of NBA scouts when the Drew League is over. So let's stop acting like this the end all be all for Liangelo. This is just a stop in the summer that he's doing, to sharpen up the toolbox to get ready for camp. We got to stop acting like after the Drew League is Jello going home. I mean, that's the way you insinuating things, and that's why it gets very crazy.
There is a potential that could happen.
No, that's not. No, there's absolutely no potential is going to happen. Liangelo Ball is headed either he's headed to the Hornets camp. Either he's going to the Greensboro Swarm or he'll be going to the Charlotte Hornets. So you just wait and see. I mean, people didn't even know that he was even going to be playing in the Summer League. That shit was up for speculation. Nobody knew shit. Liangelo Ball, what does it say when you see his name? Greensboro Swarm. So we got to just get shit into perspective and let's stop talking out our ass. Because, I mean, that tends to happen very often.
And another thing people fail to realize is that another false narrative that's out here with Liangelo is that he didn't work with Lavar last year, that he only worked with Jermaine and Melo's people, according to Jay Smitty Conversation Talk. He worked with Lavar. He always worked with Lavar. Even when he had his ankle surgically repaired, they did a lot of isometric workouts, bar work, and things of that nature, right? And Jermaine and Mike Fox. Jermaine is a manager. He's not a trainer, so stop putting Jermaine like he's a trainer. Jermaine is the manager. Mike Fox, the trainer. He worked out with Mike Fox, and you know where they worked out at? They worked out the Big Baller Bread House. They did a lot of water work at the Big Baller Bread House, right? Then he worked out with Lonzo, right? Liangelo did weight training with Lonzo last year, and he also worked out with Lonzo and Lavar and Eli Scott at the gym. So people out here putting these narratives, trying to make it seem like Lavar is some type of flake and he's ruining Liangelo. Dude, you're listening to people who don't know. Okay, I know. He worked out with Lavar last year. He always worked out with Lavar. He's never stopped. Jermaine is not a trainer. Jermaine is a manager, mentor. Mike Fox is a trainer. Let me give that to you. Mike Fox. So if you want to give some, but Mike Fox and Jermaine, they do work together in liaison. So he worked with Mello, Mike Fox. They did water work, and they did water work in the Big Baller Pool. Okay, Lavar was on site, and after that, they did the calisthenics with Lavar with the isometrics. Okay, then he worked out with Lonzo doing weights. Then he worked out with Lonzo and Eli Scott with Lavar. So let that sink out there, and please stop putting out these narratives like he left Lavar and was better, and now he's back with Lavar and he's worse. That is so far from the truth. Lavar was never out of the picture. Got to do your research. Don't be lazy and depend on these people who don't like Lavar because Lavar might have called him out.
I
And
just want to
also,
see.
people want to reference Lavar Ball and Team BBB or what they may be going through now with the record wise. It's very crazy that y'all use this juncture in this coaching situation. Like Lavar has had numerous, runs as a coach. I mean, let's get. That's why I'm saying this shit is getting very tricky out here. Why you using this impact? Why don't we go to the fucking toolbox to what he was doing with the AAU teams and the shit he was doing, things of that nature? Go back to the history of what he was doing, with the big ballers and what ballers' life and all that. Who the hell was on that sideline coaching them games? I rest my case. So let's we next question. Where we headed with this? What you about to say? I
I
want
was
people
just
to
saying.
highlight that about Lavar Ball too. If you're gonna put this little bullshit BBB thing that they have going on with the losing streak going on, and y'all want to just put oil and gasoline on that, why don't we highlight the other times when he was with the big ballers and the things of that nature that was almost maybe more even high profile than this, when they shut down gyms all over the West Coast? Let's get to that.
No, but flight.
Lavar
I
Ball has
think
had numerous. Hold on, wait a second, sir. Lavar Ball has had numerous, success situations as a coach. We gotta just highlight that as well. Stop talking about, oh man, this little couple of games. We're gonna put that as the totality of his coaching resume. I mean, that's very crazy. That's like saying, I mean, it's seriously like if you do one video, are we gonna judge you as a character off of one video that when you might have thousands or hundreds? I mean, this shit. Seriously, it's truly unfortunate, the things that's going on. That we're not really putting things into perspective. We just speaking from a very base level situation. Very minute. We're not taking the full range of the spectrum here. We just talking about a couple of games, and we're gonna lump up your whole shit like that. Your whole resume is off of this. Lavar Ball had guys running hills all over Chino Hills. You know how much shit Lavar are you serious? I mean, when we discuss coaching and training, like this man don't know basketball. See, that's when it get funny. The man done took three boys from babies all the way to the goddamn NBA. Jello on the cusp, whatever you want to call it, the G League, whatever. I mean, it's the NBA. I mean, seriously, we got to really, highlight, the real shit. You know, because there's a lot of it. You know, we just want to highlight BS all day when it's like lump it all up, put everything in totality, man. You know, and if Jello didn't have all of these things that happened where Lavar had to make pivots, this guy Liangelo Ball would have probably got drafted. You know, so I mean, we got to be serious. I don't know how long it would have took. Maybe he would have been one and done. Maybe he would have waited for Melo, and then once he got Melo, the rest would have been history. And I'm talking from UCLA. But go ahead.
What I'm saying is that statement right there could potentially be more an indictment on Lavar because and I only say that because when you look at the Drew, right? I think anybody with any basketball common sense will tell you should never sit there and try to full court press these teams because it's like self-sabotage. Because it's like tomorrow, I could tell you right now, if they try to full court press, they're going to get blown out and embarrassed. Why self-sabotage when you know these games are getting showcased on one of the biggest stages that we can play on? You can't play on the biggest stage. And when you got your team out there running a full court press that ain't even well put together and they getting embarrassed, how can anybody showcase what they can do against other high-level players outside of getting embarrassed? Why do that?
Say that? I mean, every game they haven't been embarrassed. I've seen a lot of games. Even this little time right now, that with a team BBB did bring the fight where they were close and they were neck and neck and they just faltered at the last second. You know, it was a couple games like that. Every game ain't been just an all-out blitz. You know, they've had their fair share of ass whoopers. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, but Liangelo Ball has looked good. He has put his numbers up. Has he had a bad efficiency night? I mean, obviously, this guy's taken 75% of the shots. I believe I said that before you got here. You know, the man is getting. They only got 6 players on the team, FYI. So if you want to crucify his percentages, we got to put that
I'm
in
not talking about percentages,
too.
But Flight, that's again.
I mean, all right. So if you're not
talking,
all right, no, I didn't say shit. If you're not counting percentages, the man had 30 plus.
But Flight, you just said it yourself.
On a bad team.
But Flight, you just said it yourself. They wasn't a bad team. One. Second, they had 6 players. Any coach any coach with any experience would never press.
Well, we don't. No, I can't say that right now. To be honest with you, Lavar Ball been running that. Listen, wait a second.
That's just common sense as a coach. You don't press with 6 players.
Lavar Ball has been running that press for years, and it has led to a lot of success. I'm not saying that he ran that press all game. He probably put that shit in a few times. And you trying to say he pressed all game?
This is what I'm saying.
No. I mean, listen. Wait a second. It wasn't it wasn't an all-out full court press every single time down. No, it wasn't. They was definitely getting shit, and they got shitted on. I'm not sitting here advocating the loss. The loss was lopsided, but every game was not like that. And like you said, if you're not counting percentages, Liangelo Ball put up big numbers on a team that wasn't as talented as the other one, you know, and was much more fully loaded. Let's see what happens.
That's not true.
Coming up. What do you mean it's not true? The other
team, nobody knew any of those guys.
I understand, but did anybody know any of the guys except for Jello?
Yes, because Dex told me one of them was a starter at Cal State Fullerton, D1 player. The other guy, the point guard, was a player in the JBA.
Before Dex told you that, did you know who he was?
No, I didn't know him. So what I'm saying is we're dealing with all average players.
Let's stop this.
But I'm saying, why are you willing to say the other team was far superior when all those guys worked at FedEx?
I didn't say it was okay. Cool. Listen, the number one was they had a fully loaded bench. Okay, so I listen, and I wait a second. I looked at some of them guys on the team. The guard play was better, you know, than the team BBB. You had I forgot one guy. I don't remember everybody's name, but you had one guy just hitting every goddamn thing. You know, he just got hot real quick, and he damn near pushed the shit, you know, out of range himself.
He wasn't pressing, and they was passing the ball around.
And it was on the.
And they didn't have one guy that took 40 shots.
Wait a second, FYI. Before you start dominating the microphone, they feel like you're getting your point across because you're really losing this argument. You know, on this situation.
I'm not trying to win.
No, I know, but I mean, we're trying to come to some solid ground here. You know, and at the end of the day, man. You know, just continue to watch. You will continue to learn.
Okay. I'll
know,
take
'cause I
bets.
think you
And
need. I
do
think
you
you
want
need.
to bet that they
No,
get beat
listen,
by 20
listen.
tomorrow?
I'm not. Listen, I'm not betting you. You know, I don't gamble. You know, and I'm very consistent with that. You got to find somebody
So
else to do that
anybody in
with.
the chat, I bet they get beat by 20 plus because they press.
All right. Well, we'll see. Well, let's see
I'm just
tomorrow.
saying,
Man,
anybody want to take a bet? I'm taking all bets.
I'm not sitting up here calling for a W team. I'm calling for Liangelo Ball to have a good game.
No,
You know,
no. Like these games are on NBA
what I
app.
want him. I
He ain't
want
got
him.
no
I
time to
want
be
him to
playing
win.
around with no team that's
No,
getting
it's not
blown
about
out.
playing around. It's not about playing around. Of course, we don't want to see a blowout, but let's say, God forbid, they lose by 5,
They're
and
not gonna
Jello
lose.
had a hell of a game. I mean, how the hell do you know what's going to happen? I mean, I'm not predicting win or losses. I'm just expecting Jello to ball out like he's been doing consistently. If you want to go individually, you know, not counting wins, percentages, Liangelo Ball is the go-to scorer for Team BBB. You know, so I like him in that role. I believe it's going to carry over into camp wherever he's headed after the Drew
If
League.
points in the Drew League mattered, then Hezzy guy would have an NBA contract right now.
Right. I mean, Hezzy got we got to understand. I don't know. I'm not too 100% familiar with Hezzy got.
Hezzy
You
guy is
might
an
want to talk to
average
Dex
YouTube
about that.
basketball player. He don't really do that.
Well, Jello is not your average YouTube basketball player. Jello is a phenom. You know,
And
so
it
we got
did
to.
take Hezzy guy 40 shots to get 50 points.
Right, I know, but that was for just the Drew League. I mean, Liangelo's had 20 plus in the G League, and he's had 20 plus in the Summer League. You talking about one game, and you trying to lump that up
No,
into
he
his whole
dropped 40 on
career.
Jello.
No, I understand that, but you trying to lump one game and put it to the totality
I'm
of
not going off one game. I
play
watched
style.
all the
Yes, you
BBB
are.
games.
Yeah, but you be putting one game, one moment, a couple of games. And you trying to say Lavar Ball is a bad coach? I mean,
He is.
no, he's not. I mean, the man. Did you check his resume? You fuck
Okay,
these
what's
couple
his
of games.
resume as a
No,
coach?
I want you
He
to
has
check
no
it. No,
championships at
want
all.
you to check. I want you to check his resume
What's his resume?
as not only coaching as just involved in the game of basketball, and then you might need to do your homework.
Okay, what's
You
his
know,
resume as a
no, let
coach?
me tell you something. Lavar Ball has been coaching AAU basketball, you know, not only coaching, but training as well. Like I said, not only his sons that he got all the way to the NBA. This guy, Lavar Ball, know more basketball than you. This guy, Lavar Ball, know more basketball than a lot of people, more than maybe we ever forgot. You know, so I mean, I'm just pointing that out there. You know, I'm not gonna allow you to
I'm
come.
fine with you
No, I
that
want to
I'm
say,
fine with you
I
saying
understand. No,
that.
I understand, but I can't allow you to come on here every day. You know, trying to be funny and be
That's not being
dismissive.
funny though.
No, yeah, you
That's
are.
not being
I know,
funny
but
though.
yeah, but you're trying to be dismissive towards LaVar
That's not
Ball,
being
man. But I
dismissive.
understand, but we don't do that over here, dog. So I'm just telling you, I'm not. What's going on today is I'm about to put a stand to all of the bullshit that's going on here right now. You know, I'm not gonna allow you guys to come on my fucking channel and disrespect the Ball family because that's not what this is. This is
But
a
you
Ball family
confuse
chat. I know.
criticism
I
with
don't come to your
disrespect.
channel. I understand, but
You can
listen.
come to my channel and say
No, but
whatever
I
you
don't. Yeah,
want.
but I don't.
It's
Yeah,
not
but I don't do that.
disrespect.
I understand, but here we. I don't want to do that shit every single night. We've been doing this shit every fucking single night already. I'm trying to support Liangelo Ball. When I up a
I am
Jello
supporting
live,
him.
I don't come on here to have a fucking argument with you or why he's this or he's that. Listen, I'm here to celebrate Liangelo and talk about him on the up and ups and getting to his ultimate goal. Not trying to figure out and highlight every single error or what, because you could do that with anybody. You know, I mean, anybody could come up a list of shit that's all wrong with everybody. I mean, anybody could do that. You know, but here we trying to highlight the good. You understand? That's what I'm trying to explain, and that's just coming from me, and that's
There's
not
no good
nobody.
in getting
Yeah,
blown
no,
out by
I know.
40
No,
though.
it's not just that either. Just I mean, just every single night, I'm not trying to dismiss the Ball fan. That's not what that's
Well,
all
why you
about, man.
consider everything dismissive just because
No,
it's not 100%
well,
positive
I
towards
mean,
saying
why does it
they are
have to be
great at
100? Why
everything?
does it
So
have to be?
I
But why
have to
does that? All
literally
right, cool.
concede to
I
saying
got you.
LaVar is the god and goat at
No,
everything.
that's not what I want you to say. That's
I
not what
already
I want
said
you to
he's a
say.
genius marketer. He's a genius businessman. I gave him
Right,
his
but
flowers.
yeah, all right.
I don't.
All
I
you got to
can't
do
give
is
him his
say
flowers
all you
as
got
a
to do is
business
say
as a
all you got to
coach.
do is say he's struggling. He's having
He's
a
not
hard time.
struggling.
They losing. That no, but you can't say that he's a bad
Bro.
coach with his
He's
resume
getting
in the
Liangelo
AAU
embarrassed.
basketball. Yeah, no, that's not true. He's not getting embarrassed.
Did you watch the last
Liangelo,
two
no, listen,
games?
wait a second. This was not the best performance for Liangelo Ball in terms of team wise. But Liangelo Ball put up points. He's the #1 option for Team BBB, which will carry over until camp. That's what I'm saying. I'm not all of the shit you coming up with your own narratives and you making shit up and you believe in it. You know, so I mean, I'm just going along with what you're saying.
That's not a narrative. I don't know what I said that was a narrative.
Let me share this real quick. I could say that when Lavar leaves the Drew League, right, whether win or loss, he's getting a lot of handshakes. He's taking pictures with the kids, families, people. I mean, you know, a lot of the people that lives in the area that comes out and support the Drew League. He's getting pictures. He's signing autographs, and he's not asking a dime for that. And that brings so much joy to those kids when he brings out Lonzo and LaMelo into some aspect Liangelo. I don't really see Liangelo signing autographs because because probably, you know, he's playing and, you know, he got to, you know, what you call that, like when you got to stand down, or he got to come down from being excited playing basketball and get out of his uniform and things of that nature. But his wife, his dad, his mom, Tina's grandparents, you know what I mean? They're Caucasian, so they have the share of signing their autographs too. It's just that when they're in that gymnasium, it's just a happy vibe. And people don't like, all of our, you stink. All of our, the BBB team is trash. Some people, they be like, damn, BBB lost again. Man, they got to get it together. You know, it's not like they don't recognize their loss, but at the same time, they kind of cheer for them. You follow what I'm saying? They want them to be competitive so we can have more of the BBB family in the building, because once they're eliminated, they're gone. They ain't coming back until next year. You feel me? So when you have that type of frequency and vibe around you that's so positive, that you have those inner city kids clambering up, wanting autographs, wanting pictures, and things of that nature, hold you up a little bit longer than you would normally be held up, I think that says a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell those kids Lavar suck.
No, but Dex, I'm
They
not
probably
saying
spit on you.
Dex, I never said as a person, as a celebrity. I'm saying, why are we using all these things to dance around to one single question? Why are you running a press against other grown adult men who play basketball, allowing your team to get destroyed time and time again, and embarrassing Liangelo like that? That's the question, because it's starting to get laughable now what they doing, and it's all gonna fall on Jello, because he's the one out there has to deal with the backlash as far as the output on the basketball court. It's horrible basketball, and it's going to affect how Jello looks on an NBA stage. On NBA.com app, his team is trying to press with 6 players, getting blown out by a team that all work at FedEx, and they on Twitter in a group laughing and joking about it, saying that they beat Liangelo with mailmen.
That's where I part ways at. So those guys are laughing and joking at it. You think Lavar cares about that? Let's hold on one second. Just let's parse this. Don't argue. Let's just discuss. Okay? No debate. Just discuss. Let's parse this. They get blown out. Liangelo has a horrible efficiency night. They go, they take pictures with everybody and boom, 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 and do their thing, and they go home to their side of town. Those FedEx people you talking about that's laughing, they go home to their side of town. Now tell me who's affected. I mean, this is a Drew League.
That's still a Drew League now. That's a deflection,
this is a league that you said. Hold on,
Dex. That's a deflection,
bro. We just said we're not even trying to race. We're not even trying to heighten this. We're not trying to put that type of energy.
Dex, you keep talking about stuff that I'm not even addressing. I'm saying stick to the basketball aspect of it. Why? Because I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the off the court stuff. We know Liangelo's rich. We know Liangelo has a lifestyle that many of us will never ever see. We know he hasn't made.
What I'm talking about affects him. That's what I'm addressing.
I didn't say it affects you. I said when we talking about, like what Flight said, we talking about the things that will ultimately get him to the NBA. So I want to stick to the basketball side of it. Remember, he's the one that said Lavar is a great coach. So I don't know any good coaches in the world who will try to press in the Drew League and with 6 players and continuously do it to the point that their team gets blown out by 40 in multiple games that they've gotten blown out because they've done it, and they have 0 wins with this strategy, no matter if they had good players, some of which who left the team, and even with other guys who y'all say are not as good, it doesn't matter who they have, it's not working. And it's all starting to become embarrassing. You know, on a public stage in the NBA.com is showcasing games, you want to put your best foot forward. Why put your worst foot forward when you have this opportunity?
Now, I can't refute nothing you just said. I'm not going to even try to refute it, debunk it, or deconstruct anything. That's something Lavar have to answer. I can't even. That's my point. That's why I keep telling you guys I don't know everything. So those questions that you asking me, I ain't gonna even try to act like I know everything. You have to ask Lavar why he done that. Me, if you ask me, will I do that? I'm gonna humbly say, hell the freaking no. Not with 6 players, because I've been in a situation like that where we had 7 players. You follow what I'm saying? And we barely made it without being disqualified. Okay, so I wouldn't do it. And like I said, I don't even know if that game was already disqualified because he didn't have 7 players. Because according to rule, you're supposed to have 7 players, 5 and 2 subs. So that game could have been disqualified, and they just played it out anyway. That's what I'm thinking. You feel me? And if that was the case, then he just like whatever. But I would never press like that. Not with 5 players. I mean, come on, that's illogical. We all know that. So I can't answer for him. But if I was coaching that team at that moment, of course I would never do that. I would try to stagger the minutes the best way I can with the one little alternate that I have sitting on the bench. That's how I would have did it, and try to be as competitive as possible. And I wouldn't have played as hard as defense on a team that was fully loaded. I would kind of slag off a little bit, just make sure you try to stay in front of your defender. And if a guy get beat, center step up. I'll probably play a zone all night. 2-3 zone. Simple as form of basketball you can play. 2-3 zone. I probably just would have played that and live with the results.
So do you believe that these Drew League games are not going to have any impact on his credibility as far as getting into the league and what people think about his game?
I don't think it would hurt him far as that. The only thing you can get out the Drew League is positive. You can't get a negative. That's from my experience with the Drew League. If you do positive stuff, everybody's cheering, whoa. But if you do something that, okay, you ain't the one we cheer for today. We're going to cheer for the guy, because there's always a hero in the Drew League. Every game, there's a hero. And that's who the fans will try to get behind. That person who's just shining all of a sudden. You might not know him. You might do know him. But whoever's shining at the moment, that's who they're going to cheer for. They ain't looking at Frank Nitty had a bad game, or one other player that's popular there may have a bad game or something like that. Because there's somebody on Frank Nitty team that might be exploding for 30, 32. You follow what I'm saying? And that's what they're going to cheer for. I remember being there. I know you in Memphis 10 parading this lie that the BBB team never won in the Drew League, and that's not the case. I was there live, center, up close and bro. I was just on your stream.
Bro, I said they haven't won a game this year.
Oh, okay. You said this year. It keeps sounding like you're agreeing with Memphis 10. You said no. He's not lying. They haven't won a game. So maybe you meant this year. But Memphis 10 was trying to say they hadn't won, period. Even though we had that discussion.
No, he was saying they haven't won while Lavar was coaching.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That while Lavar was coaching, that's not true. Because I
don't know. I don't know. I didn't watch the BBB team last year.
See, there we go with the deflection. You saying you don't know. I'm saying we got it on stream. It's in his library.
No, okay, that's fine. And if they got to win last year, that's fine. I'm not.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not alluding to last year. I'm like I said, if
we go again, I'm gonna put it up there. Look, there's your boy.
Listen, if we talking about things,
Memphis 10 is a fool.
If we talking about speaking on things and parading things that's gonna help and be positive towards Liangelo.
Okay, this is straight.
I don't know what you want me to look at when I see these Drew League games and try to take positive from it. When there's only negative. There's no positive.
Let me talk to Memphis real quick. Memphis 10, why you keep saying that, bro? Please stop. Put that in the wastebasket, okay? I just told you it's in Flight Library. All you got to look like from a year from today. We streamed the whole thing live. I mean, with thousands of people.
I don't But I don't
BBB.
know how last year
I'm talking to
impacted.
Memphis 10, FYF.
All right.
I mean, for crying out loud. I just said I'm talking to Memphis 10. Let me talk to him. I know that's your boy. You know what I'm saying? I know
But
that's
I'm
your boy.
saying, but why you deflecting away? You still haven't
Oh,
answered the
no, it
original
ain't.
question.
Hold on. Let me talk to Memphis 10. We interact with the chat a little bit. Don't stop being spoiled. We give you enough attention.
Hold on,
Okay,
y'all used to dealing with spoiled people. Look at Jalen.
FYF. Put your pacifier in your mouth, bro. Let me deal with Memphis 10. FYF is crazy. Hold on one second. Memphis 10. Lavar was coaching the game. I was there, front and center. What are you talking about? I recorded everything. And Curtis Hollins got the pass from Hollywood Ray and tipped it in for the game winner. So what do you mean? So stop it, Memphis 10. Okay, now go ahead, FYF. I'm sorry. I know you don't want me to address your boy.
I'm just saying,
You're trying to cover
do you
for him.
believe that with these games being showcased? I think it's huge that the NBA is streaming the Drew League games. I think it's huge. It's a huge opportunity because there's more eyes on the Drew. There's more eyes on the players participating. Right, Drew was already big before, so I'm saying if you're a player looking to get signed, I feel like whenever the cameras is on you, especially NBA cameras, you want to be able to have your best foot forward. Right? You always, whenever you step on the court, it's like a job interview. And I just don't believe some of the things that Lavar is trying to get this team to do as a coach is allowing Jello to put his best foot forward when the NBA cameras is on him.
Okay, everybody. Damn. See, Memphis, you asking good questions, but FYF get mad if I give you the attention. Okay, Memphis 10. Real quick, Memphis 10. Eli Scott always played in the Drew League, and he probably is playing with the team that he always played with, and that's probably No Shat. So that's probably why that he's not playing with BBB. And some of the other JBA players, listen, some of them players are not even really balling right now. You know what I mean? And then some of them are overseas balling. I know I got a couple of them in Germany, Italy. So maybe that's, they have the other journeys, they have the obligations. So, everybody's not just running to Lavar because he snaps his fingers. People have a life to live and they have to, pay their bills like everybody else pay their bills. So that's probably the case sometimes. So you can't just always look at it as people trying to avoid Lavar, if that's what you're trying to spew out. I just think that some of the JBA players, wherever they live, they probably don't have the bread to get down to the Drew League and to live, because I remember Lavar did house Hollywood Ray for a while, and maybe another JBA player, I can't think of his name, but maybe he just can't do that all the time because the boys are not there. There's really nobody there. Liangelo got his own crib, so I don't know about that part. All I know is some JBA players are doing other things right now with their lives. We just had Keezo Brown on here with a live interview, and you saw the things that he got going on. He's nowhere near the Drew League. He was in Vegas ready for his workout with the Indiana Pacers, according to him. So I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff going on with some of these young men. Everybody just can't, run to Lavar because he snapped his fingers. That ain't how life works. I don't know how old you are, Memphis 10, but trust me, bro, that ain't how life works. People got to get, you heard what's his name, Ace Hood, when he talk about hustle hard. You know what I'm saying? Baby got to eat. Baby got diapers. Wife needs shoes. You know how that go. So I'm gonna pass the mic on that. Now, as far as the Drew League getting a lot of attention and it's an audition. That's what I said earlier, FYF. I said earlier, how are we judging this? Are we judging this as insignificant, inconsequential, unimportant, or are we putting a standard on it that is a important, significant, and it's an interview and an audition moving forward? So we got to stay on one side of the fence. We can't be jumping when it fit our narrative. 1 minute is unimportant. The Drew League, that ain't nothing. That league's kind of beneath me. I'm waiting for the real NBA season to start. Well, I want to watch a bunch of Joes and Jimmys move around the court. Now, all of a sudden, become interested to people. That's interesting. I don't know. Everybody have their own quirky way of what gathers or garners their attention. So cool. Me, I'm telling you, Liangelo, I don't know how many times I got to tell people. Liangelo's already locked in at the least with the Greensboro Swan. That's locked in. Unless something bigger happens, then he can forbade that and move to whatever's bigger's happened. So if nothing happens from the Drew League here on all, I don't care if Liangelo shoot 100 times and only have one bucket. He's locked into Greensboro Sword. That's more than what a lot of people are locked in, who's getting 30s and 40s and all this type of stuff. You follow what I'm saying? Whether they score on him or not, it doesn't even matter. He's locked into the Greensboro Swarm. That's where he's headed at the least. I don't want to keep saying this 1,000 times because people act like they don't want to hear it. At the least, he's locked into the Greensboro Swarm. That's where he's headed if nothing changes for the better. Okay, that's his trajectory right now. So tomorrow, it's entertainment, baby.
What's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow, he's playing against Frank Nitty. Shout out to Uncle Vern. He's playing against Frank Nitty. So this is going to be a game because Frank Nitty is one of them cocky LA dudes. You know, he's from Watts. You know, shout out to Watts. You know, he's one of them purple people eaters. So he once played on alongside of Damian Lillard and was the newcomer of the year in that league. So he has some history of basketball. Played overseas a plethora of years. He was a part of the Lakers organization. I remember a lot of people were saying that he was going to get drafted. And that was the murmur that was on the streets of LA. Frank Nitty's going to the Lakers. He was part of their D League program twice, when there was the Defenders and when they were the South Bay Lakers, when they changed their name to South Bay Lakers. So he has been flirting with the fringes of the NBA. So he is a known player. Plus, he's a 3-time MVP of the Drew League, Uncle Vern.
Okay.
So Frank Nitty's coming to get buckets. I'm going to tell you that right now. Normally, I would say, well, guys, you know, they this and they that. No, Frank Nitty is coming to get buckets. And he's coming to get it on Liangelo. So we're going to see how Liangelo respond to this guy. Now, Montrezl Harrell, who's also a part of that team, and I don't know if any other NBA players might might be a part of that team come Saturday. But Montrezl Harrell, I don't think they have an answer for him. Now, I've seen Montrezl Harrell play in the Drew League. He only played half speed, but his half speed is better than a lot of people playing full speed. I can tell you that right now. Even though he has his struggles playing with Charlotte and playing with the Wizards, playing with the Lakers, his best outage was with the Los Angeles Clippers. I've seen Montrezl Harrell play plenty of times. I've seen Montrezl Harrell play on concrete. That's how tough nails this dude is. He out there playing on concrete with dudes at Venice Beach. Oh, I forgot to say, shout out to Hoop Jargon. Guys, please go to Hoop Jargon. Check out his interview with the young kid that he has, the 24-year-old kid that he highlighted here tonight. He was at Venice Beach. I know that background, and I'm like, God darn it, if I would have known that, maybe I could have, you know, we could have kicked it or something. But Hoop Jargon, if you're still around, we got to link up, bro. Come on, man. You stay down the street from me, for crying out loud. Stop acting all bougie, man. Don't be coming to Pasadena act bougie. You don't come to Pasadena act bougie. That's Altadena. Altadena's bougie. Pasadena's hood. So yeah, shout out to Hoop Jargon for moving, you know, in my city. He's in my city now. So we definitely gonna get together. We're gonna slam the doors on the Panamera. We're gonna turn the music up, and we're gonna, you know what I'm saying, hit that Colorado Strip. You feel me? That Colorado Boulevard, Old Town Pasadena, and chop it up at the Cheesecake Factory or something. Or we can just go to a nice Italian restaurant and just do it the way it's supposed to be done. So yeah, we're gonna definitely have to do that again. Cause you know me and Hoop Jargon hooked up before. So we just got to hook up again.
This time last year, I remember it was history.
Right.
It's going to last for a long time. This time
yeah.
y'all was out at the ball.
I'm going to put him in that 4-door. Yeah, we're going to get in that 4-door and hear them pipes rev up. You know what I'm saying? That exhaust. In that super sports style. You know what I'm saying? Maybe going to 110 freeway and hit them curves so I can show you what it's like being in them 22s, hitting them curves, Hoop Jargon. You feel me? Because Hoop Jargon got a nice little, he got a Benz now. Hoop Jargon is one of them Benz boys. But hey, I'm P-Card, okay? You know what I'm saying? Okay, nevertheless. So with Liangelo, the worst he's going to be is Greensboro. But I want him to have a nice competitive game against Frank Nitty. That's what I really want to see. I want to see him have a nice competitive game against Frank Nitty. And because I know Frank Nitty, he's one of them type of dogs. When he's going against some celebrity or some other high-end basketball player, he's going to come out and try to have some competition, and Montrezl Harrell is going to be setting picks all day long. So how will BBB respond to the Mad Dog Montrez Harrell, Trez, our people. He shouted out Flight Sports TV in the pick and roll game with him and Frank Nitty. That is going to be awesome. Can BBB handle that type of punishment with these blind picks that Montrezl Harrell be putting on these people out here? So that's going to be nice to see that. Unfortunately, I will not be there at the Drew League. I got other obligations, but at the same time, we should have a nice outing. So shout out to everybody that's gonna pull up to the Drew League and things of that nature. Shout out to my boy Fredro. I know he's gonna be in the building at the Drew League and things of that nature. We might have other people down there. We might get an opportunity to speak to some people. I don't know. Just pull up the Flight Sports TV. You know how we do. Shit is random. Motherfuckers call us and get on the panel and we be like, whoa, 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 whoa. You follow what I'm saying? So it is what it
Man,
is.
whoa. Matter of fact, since you put that in, it give you a chance to sit up there and say, well, I called it anyway. Thank you for reminding me. Dex, I wouldn't worry about the Drew League and I wouldn't worry about BBB in the Drew League because it's longevity in the Drew League. The Drew League going to be around for a long time. And as more as it go on, it's going to get more and more exposure. I'm glad BBB is involved with the Drew League. That's a good thing, Dex. I'm just sorry I was talking when you was talking. Back to you, Dex.
Well, I mean, Jay Schmitty, I mean, to be honest with you, you listen, you got to fall in where you fit in. So if that's who's hugging him and that's who's coveting him, then you might as well go there because see, they trying to keep this attachment with Liangelo and Lamelo. You follow what I'm saying? They want that attachment, and Charlotte Hornet knows this, and I just believe that when it comes time for Lamelo contract, that will be inked in. That my brother will have a uniform. That part will be inked in. So that part I'm not even worried about. So I know he's going to be in the league, and I'm just hoping he be in the league sooner than later. That's all I'm saying. I already know he's going to be in the league based on Lamelo if he don't get in on his own merit or anything to that nature. And if I was Leandro, I wouldn't feel ashamed. So people try to make him feel ashamed to get in on his brother's back or whatever. Hell, that's what family's for, right? See, why we as black people, why we got to always have to struggle to get it made? Why we can't leave generational wealth to our children? You follow what I'm saying? Why we can't leave generational wealth to our grandchildren? Why everybody have to get it out the mud? That is some of the most stupidest shit ever. Who is teaching you people? Is that what liberals do? Want black people to get out the mud? Is that what conservatives do? Want black people to get out the mud? Why not? If one make it, you help the other one make it. You help the other one make it. You help the other one make it. And now we're a well-oiled machine like everybody else and like everybody else community. Why we always got to start at ground zero? That's oh my God. Get out of that mindset. Get into the
Yeah, I agree.
mindset that you get when you get some money, you get you some fucking life insurance. You get you some minimal health insurance. I don't care if it's just minimal, copay or whatever. And then live your life. And make sure you have a beneficiary, whether it's your kids, to go ahead and collect off your life insurance because it's no guarantee you're going to ever get wealthy. So one of the best things you can do is get life insurance. This is what happened with some of these rappers out here. They're getting plugged. They don't have life insurance, but the company that they're signed to have life insurance on them. So the company get the money and their family don't. They got to do fish plates and car washes and go and get at me funds or whatever that thing called. You follow what I'm saying? We got to start thinking better. And this is why I'm trying to eradicate all this negativity surrounding growth and development dealing with our people, no matter how small it is. No matter if BBB is small, no matter if Greedy Gorilla, if Coffee to the World, or what's the other one? A1 I Am Fitness. You understand what I'm saying? This is what we're doing. Support us. You feel me? This is what we're doing. If you see something that we like, that we have, go ahead and get the merch. You ain't gotta work. You ain't gotta wait till you get rich to go buy you some Fendi. You ain't gotta wait till you get rich to go buy you some Louis, some Gucci, and all that other stuff. I don't even buy that stuff no more. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. I can afford it, but you know what? I still shop at Ross sometimes. I still shop at TJ Maxx sometimes. I still shop at Marshall sometimes. Okay? It's no shame in my game because how I live And how I move around my city, I'm still good. I ain't gotta go impress. Now I done went to Italy and bought me a Gucci belt in Italy. You follow what I'm saying? So yeah, okay, I did that. But outside of that, I can wear some Armani Exchange. I ain't gotta be exuberant with my lifestyle and with my the clothes that's on my back. I ain't gotta go buy no Go Yard for what? I'd buy me a Samsonite and still travel to all the places all over the world that I travel to in Samsonite. Don't have to be no Go Yard. So don't put yourself in a bind because you keep putting yourself in a bind trying to hang with the Joneses. You're going to be in debt for the rest of your fucking life. And that's one
Real.
thing that you don't want to do is die in fucking debt, and all that debt carries over to your living relatives because somebody's going to pay that debt. That's how it's set up in America. Somebody's going to pay that debt, man. And you now you're putting burden on people that you feel that you claim that you love. So stop the negativity. Stop trying to put people in a negative light all the freaking time. I mean, stop. Come on. Why don't you? Just stop it. You don't have to. You got to listen. We have a volition, right? Our volition, which is our will, allow us to choose the direction left or right. Now, if you don't have a teacher to teach you, then whatever direction you go to, there's no blame on you because to most people, ignorant is bliss. But when you have someone before you, and when I'm talking about, it don't have to be no physical manifestation of an anatomical form. A teacher can be the internet, could be YouTube. You follow what I'm saying? The teacher can be your Apple iPad. I don't know what teacher you have, but however your telemetry to gain information, use it. That's why you don't have to keep starting over. I remember when technology first started to come out, right? In like the late 80s. And I used to see my little homeboy on the computer. I didn't have a computer in my house. We can afford one. On the computer, and he's coding. This nigga was coding, excuse my language, was coding in 86, 87, right? And he was making games on his computer, games that we can play. Now, up to date, he done been into the military for over 15 years doing coding, now has his own $1 million business. This is somebody is younger than me that I grew up with. And we used to go to his house, cook food, and play games that he coded on his computer. Football, baseball games, and things of that nature. It was ugly looking. The graphics were ugly, but the guy coded it himself. Went to the military, to the Navy rather,
Bro.
doing coding, and now he has $1 million business. He was once in Vegas with his business, and now he moved down to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we don't have to be so negative all the time because I'm looking at what he's doing is soft. Oh man, this dude is soft, man. You on a
Yeah,
computer,
nerd. I would look at him
Hell
being a
no.
nerd. That's what I call the nerd, Dex.
right? Not knowing that the future will be technological. You feel me?
Well, I'll tell you, he's a smart nerd.
He was
I,
a smart one. Yes,
Dex, it took me a long time to figure out. I'm start hanging out with nerds now. I ain't messing with these people, other people no more. I'm messing with the nerds now, Dex. I'm telling you, Dex, you're a genius. Thank you, Dex.
that's why I love being a nerd. I love being. I remember, listen, I was talking to this one little cutie, right? And I'm rapping to her and everything. And I'm telling her what I do, and she said, "Oh, nigga, you got a square ass job." I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Please say that again." She said I had a square ass job. Guess where this young lady is now? On bond for murder.
Uh, well, I'll tell you, that's nice.
Did you hear what I just said?
You said she's
This
on
was
what
out
now?
on. She's on bond. On bond for murder. After telling
Okay.
me a few months ago that I had a square ass job, I was trying to rap at her a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And
Yeah,
then
well,
she was like, "What do you do?" Because the way that she looked at me, she thought I was into illegal activities. See, I
right,
already
right,
know that.
right. Yeah.
And so I'm telling her what I do and everything. And she was like, "Oh, nigga, you got a square ass job." And I was like, "Whoa, excuse me, ma'am. You feel?" I couldn't believe what I heard out of my mouth, man.
That's nigga said that.
Hey, Bob. Hey, what's going on, Bob? Hey, Dex. But look here. You ever heard this saying? You can't hang out with the owls and then soar with the eagles in the morning. It's kind of hard. You understand me? You can't burn the candles at both ends. Sometimes somebody got to get
Yep.
wise in between that one end to the other end. And
I was
that's where I'm at, Dex.
flabbergasted. Who's this brother?
What's going on,
Hunter?
Marv?
Is that Marvin?
Yo,
Hey,
What's your brother? Identify yourself, brother.
I am Mr. Hunter Perry.
Hunter Perry. Okay,
No, I'm
Hunter
joking, but
Perry.
I only came here to say because I peeped the Drew League schedule and I saw them playing what's the team? Frank Nitty and them.
Yeah,
And I was like, bruh.
Public Enemy.
And I was like, bruh, who is guarding Montrezl Harrell, bro?
That's what I was just telling everybody. I said the same thing.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, their center's already. Yo, I feel bad, bro.
He's shaking in his boots, right?
He's not sleeping right now. Who
I
is
don't know. Yeah.
who's guarding Montrez?
And they got another guy too, who's a forward. I can't think of his name. I think he plays college ball, but he's really good too. So
On
you
Public
got
Enemy?
on Public Enemy. I can't think of the guy's name because I don't know all the college players. There's so many players, you know what I mean, in college. But he played college and he's good. He's like a what you call him? Like a wingman. Yeah, he's like a wingman. So he run up and down the floor and he just dunks and do all kind of high flying stuff. I forgot what his name is. I think he's an influencer. He played college basketball, but now he's an influencer and he do a lot of dunks on Instagram and YouTube. A
Oh,
lot of fancy dunks.
but he's a hooper.
But he hoops, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
he
wow.
hoops. But he do, I guess he do like, like fancy dunks and stuff.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but somebody might know who he is though.
I
I can't
just
think of
saw
his name.
I just saw Montrez and I was like, damn. Yo, shout out to whoever guarding him tomorrow, bro.
Yeah.
They gonna need it.
That's why I didn't even mention whoever's guarding him because I know Montrez is gonna be able to be dominant.
He's gonna eat, bro. Like BBB already can't grab rebounds like that, so it's about
Exactly.
to be bad.
Maybe they might play up the competition. I'm hoping that this will be their best game. The finale will be their best game. I don't know. Is this their finale? No, I think they got one more game after this. I think
No,
it's 10 games.
I read it said this is the last week before playoffs. Some shit.
Oh, it is. So this is the last game. Then I thought they played 10 games. I think this is their 9th game. But anyway, yeah. So I hope this just be the best game, so he can, they can send Jello off with a good sending. But I'm just trying to share with people that this is not Liangelo's audition. Now, whatever he did could enhance him, but whatever he didn't do is not hurting him because he's still going to the Greensboro Swarm. And once he get into the Greensboro Swarm, everybody gonna forget what he did in the Drew League based on the Greensboro Swarm, and then we're gonna start talking about what he's doing and what he's not doing on the Greensboro Swarm. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm Gello, I'm saying this was cardio for the summer, bro. This was just cardio.
Yeah.
I'm getting cardio in.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You know what I'm saying? It's a mental exercise for him. So we're gonna basically see how it all falls into play. And I'm just unhappy that I'm not there because I did want to get one game in at the Drew League and stream live, not stream off somebody else's platform, but actually stream live with my equipment for Flash Sports TV. But this year I just could not get to the Drew League. And when I was there, Liangelo was in Vegas. And I definitely wasn't going to Vegas because Vegas is like 120 degrees. That's out.
Nah, hell no.
You know what I'm saying? That's out. I told my girl we ain't going to Vegas. That's out. It's like 100. It was like 103 in Cali and it was 120 in Vegas. I am not going to Vegas.
You could just stay inside. You don't need to be outside.
Yeah, but we drive. You know what I'm saying? You driving on that highway, 120 degrees, and you know I'm driving on low profile. So boom, if I pop my tire, it's a wrap.
Right. There's no AC in the whip. What you mean?
No, I'm talking about outside. I said low profile on my tires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm driving my whip. For Summer League, you got to drive your whip down there, dude. You ain't never been to Summer League?
Nah, I don't.
Oh my God.
I live in the East Coast.
Oh, okay. Got you.
So that's way too far.
When you go to Summer League, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it's kind of like a showcase for everybody. Even if you ain't got a car, people out there wearing Gucci loafers and they in Ubers.
It's never that serious.
That's what I'm saying though, when people do that.
It's never that serious.
They do that. The girls are out. I mean, they're barely dressed. They're out. They're looking good. They trying to catch a baller. You know what I'm saying? It's just so inviting. So when you go down there, you park. You know, man, you want to park VIP. You know, because you know what I'm saying. You got to represent yourself.
If you're a baller, if you're a baller, all right, you got a point. But if you're just a regular civilian, bro, all right, come on.
I know, but some people like to embellish their lifestyle. So ain't nobody bummy. I can tell you that much. Ain't nobody bummy. Ain't no homelessness hanging out by the Thomas Mack Arena or the Pavilion or the Cox Pavilion. It's very clean, maintained, upscale. Police everywhere. And when I say police everywhere, you got police far as the regular police, and then you got undercovers. You follow what I'm saying? So, because you got all the basketball players and all them down there. You know what I mean? So
everywhere you turn, you basically see a NBA player.
Yes. Listen, basically, not I wouldn't say everywhere, because depends on what hotel you at. If you at a hotel that's off the strip, no, you probably won't see no NBA player. But if you're in a hotel on the strip, you'll see them. Most of them stay at the Bellagio, the Venetian, Cosmo. You know what I'm saying? Area. They kind of stay in those hotels right there. Some you might catch at the MGM, huh?
Is it far from where they be playing the summer league games?
No. The strip is only about what from the arena. It's only about 2-3 miles.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, you go right down the street, make a left. You right there, make a right into that little parking area, and then you got the whole Thomas Mack Arena and the Cox Pavilion, all that right there. UNLV adjacent.
The traffic be crazy?
Yes. Traffic is always crazy in Vegas. Yes, it's very. That 2 miles, it'll take you about 30 minutes.
So you might as well walk.
So I take the back streets.
You gotta find parking and all that shit, bro. That sounds like too much.
Right. Yeah. Well, the parking, if you go early, because what happens, a lot of people come early and just stay all day because it's so freaking hot anyway. You know, I mean, stay all day. It's so much going on. It's a whole event. They got a bunch of vendors out there, a lot of different foods, different type of business attractions and things of that nature. Sometimes they even have job expos, and things of that nature. So it's always something going on.
So it's a good networking.
Oh, most definitely for networking. Most definitely for networking. Yes. People out there passing cards all day long. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they see you getting out of certain whips. Hey, here, take my card. Take my card, old head. Take my card. Take my card, man. You know what I'm saying? Take my card, pops. That's how they be getting at me and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So, hey, but it's an event though. It's an event. It's cool. So you just want to be a part of the atmosphere when you're there, and you just start basking in all of its glory, basically. And like I said, when you at the hotel, because I met Allen Iverson at the fight. But you can see basketball players a lot just sitting at the tables. They be gambling, especially doing the craps, because all the tall people. When you see all them tall people, listen, I'm telling you, it's weird. Uncle Vern, it is. If you're still here, it is so weird that you see so many damn tall people in one place. Everywhere you look, you got to look up to these people, because they're so tall. And I'm talking about even the older people, like the coaches and the scouts and all of them. A lot of them people are tall too. It's like a 6'5+ convention. You know what I'm saying? It's strange how you see all that, because normally when you go to Vegas, you just see regular sized people, maybe a few tall people stand out, but there you see a bunch of trees. Everywhere you look, and then you kind of look at them like, who is that player? Who's that player? Because you don't know everybody. You know what I mean? You only just know the players that the NBA kind of promote a little bit. I saw John Morant. He's not tall, but I saw him. He had a bunch of braids in his hair, wearing a hoodie. He looked very unassuming, but you just know him by his facial features. That's John Morant. You know what I'm saying? But he don't dress all fancy like some of them players. A lot of them players be dressing all fancy. John Morant don't even dress fancy. He didn't. At least the day I saw him, he didn't dress fancy. So yeah, it's definitely something that you will want to, at least as a basketball fan. I'm just talking about as a basketball fan. You at least want to try to be involved with Summer League. Just 1 year out of your life, put that on your bucket list. Go down there maybe for a weekend in Vegas. It's best to book Vegas months ahead of time. You book it months ahead of time, you can get hell of a deals. Like my suite cost me $1,600, right? Do you know how much the suite that I had if I would have booked it at Summer League at that actual time? It was like a $4-some thousand suite, but I got it for $1,600. So you get a lot of deals in Vegas if you book ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? So Uncle Vern, what's new with you? Anybody on the panel with me? Oh, Uncle Vern left. Yeah. So anyway, can you guys hear me? Mic check, because I can't hear nobody. So anyway, yeah, if you can get down into Summer League or any type of All Star, yeah, I've been to the All Star at the Staples Center. That was crazy. I mean, it's just wild. The people there is just wild. And look, and both times that I've been to All Star, not one incident took place. I don't even think it was a arrest. That's how peaceful it was. And it's hard to get a bunch of melanated people in one area with that much money around in that one incident. So sometimes we do know how to act in certain situations, and I do appreciate that. Whatever the good vibe or frequency that was hovering over these events, where your boy went in safe and came out safe, went in one piece, came out at one piece. So I appreciate that. But yeah, when you get into those events like that, I've been to a Super Bowl, but that was in the '80s. The one I went to was Denver and the New York Giants. I mean, yeah, was it New York Giants? Yeah, Denver, New York Giants. I went to that Super Bowl. It was in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. I went to the 1979 Rams versus the Steelers. I went to that Super Bowl, but I didn't get in. I was just on the outside activities. But the one I got in was Denver, because I was working at the Rose Bowl. Because every year they give the kids that live in the in the surrounding area, you can work at the Rose Bowl. And this year I got the VIP section of the parking area. And once you get the VIP section of the parking area, they close that down early, right? They get all the cars in, they close it down early. Yes, I broke some rules. Okay, I will confess. Catholic corner. Okay, I will confess. I broke some rules because I saw Jackie Slater. I don't know if you guys know who Jackie Slater is. I don't know. But I seen Jackie Slater, right? I saw Magic Johnson. But anyway, this Jackie Slater, right? The limousine pulls up. The window from the I'm tapping the passenger side window of the limousine to get the parking pass. So the chauffeur says, hey, excuse me, young man, just go to the back and address the guy in the back. So I go to address the guy in the back, and it's Jackie Slater. Now he had some snow bunnies in there with him. I don't know who they were, but I'm quite sure they were probably some actresses or something like that. But he had some snow bunnies in there with him, and he was like, "Hey man, say little bro." That's how he talked. Say little bro, I don't have no pass, man, but I need to get up in there. And I was like, excuse me, sir, you can't get in unless you have a pass. I can't let you through the gate. He was like, okay, is this good enough for a pass? The man gave me like $100, gave me like 250s. And I was like, oh yes, sir. Thank you. You can go through. That's a pass. And I saw Magic Johnson. I saw what's his name? Byron Scott. I saw Byron Scott. I saw Rick James, and a couple of other celebrities, Richard Dreyfuss, and who else I seen at that Super Bowl? And there's some others. I think Scott Baio. Scott Baio. I don't know if you guys remember who Scott Baio is, but anyway, Charles in Charge, right? I saw Scott Baio, and Scott Baio was another one who tipped me. Scott Baio did not have a pass, and he tipped me, I think, about like $25 or something. You know what I mean? You know, because you got to talk to him the right way, because you don't know if it's your supervisor trying to set you up, because that is a prestigious job at the Rose Bowl to work the VIP parking, because it's a lot of tipping going on there. So I ended up making like about $300, and it's like 1987, right? Denver and New York Giants, I believe. Phil Simms versus John Elway. So I let them in, get in. Then once you finish the VIP parking, then they let you into the game. But you keep your event staff jacket, but you cannot sit down. There's no seats. So you just have to get up and walk around, wait till somebody go to the concession stand or the restroom, and you just sit in their seat until they get back. Right? You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes that is so annoying. So you just walk down to the 50-yard line and just hang out on the rail, and you cool until somebody say, hey man, move your ass. Get out the way. Your daddy wasn't no glass maker or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, that was cool. And then I used to go to the Rose Bowl. I saw Art Schlichter. I seen him in the Rose Bowl before. I saw Chuck Long in the Rose Bowl before. I seen Troy Aikman, Eric Ball. I seen who else was in the Rose Bowl? Was it USC? Did I catch the USC in the Rose Bowl? I can't remember if I caught USC at the Rose Bowl, but definitely I remember the UCLA games when I was younger at the Rose Bowl with the Troy Aikman led UCLA Bruins. And one of the best games I ever seen in the Rose Bowl was a UCLA Bruins, and they had a running back named Eric Ball. I don't know if y'all remember that name. I think he got drafted by the Rams, but he didn't really pan out. The man had over 200-some yards. Just ran over Iowa. I believe it was Iowa that was playing. So I used to always love to see the Buckeyes when they come down, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you had the Woody Hayeses and I forgot the other coaches they had. I saw Bo Schembechler at the Rose Bowl with Anthony. What was that wide receiver? Anthony, right? I think he played with the Minnesota Vikings in the pros. I got a chance to see him. He was number 1. I got a chance to see him at the Rose Bowl, coached by Bo Schembechler. So I got a chance to witness that game. And yeah, so the best game I saw at the Rose Bowl. The best game I shot at played for Michigan. Yeah. The best game, Anthony Carter. There you go, Lamont. Yes, sir, my brother. Yes, sir, Anthony Carter. I saw Anthony Carter. Boy, that boy can play some football, right? I saw USC versus Texas. I was at that game. Yes, sir, I was at that game. Now, this was a long break before I worked at the Rose Bowl, because I stopped working at the Rose Bowl. I was doing other stuff. And then I came back because I wanted to be a part of that USC Texas game, because that game was so hype. Listen, if you was around in 2005, college football, that was the hypest game ever. It was no game hyper than that. Texas versus California, both of these states spew out so many athletic professionals. I'm talking about in all sports, from volleyball all the way to swimming, to football, to basketball. Texas and California is one of the states that spew out, of course, Florida, but Florida wasn't involved in this. But it was a supremacy of who's better, Texas athletes or California athletes. That was all that was going on. And then I have my connection with Texas, so I'm messing with my people down in Texas, talking about, you know what I'm saying, blah 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 about this thing, right? Now, I've seen Vince Young play, and when I knew Vince Young was the truth, is when he beat that Adrian Peterson Oklahoma Sooners team. That's when I knew that these boys, these Texas boys, are real, because prior when they had Ricky Williams and Priest Holmes and those guys over at Texas with Applewhite and all them, right, and Sims, they didn't really win nothing. They was good, but they didn't really win nothing. And then my boys from UCLA just blew the doors off of Ricky Williams' Texas-led team. Y'all remember that, right? With K McNown and all them, they just blew the doors off of them, right? So now California and Texas is actually playing for the national championship, right? This one out, this one they would be, they're beating bricks out for Alabama. Alabama, Clemson, they was nowhere to be found. You know what I'm saying? It was Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, USC, LSU, Ohio State. They was basically running college football. A little bit, to some degree, Oregon in the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, so this Young, right? This guy is so fucking humongous. I mean, pause. I mean, his physique, the man was bigger than some of his freaking linemen, okay? I'm saying, like, this, how in the hell they gonna tackle this motherfucker? That's what I'm saying in my mind about Vince Young. And so the games begins. We have we have Troy Polamalu. I think we had Troy Polamalu at that time. If I'm not mistaken. We had a stout defense, I know that much. But we had the Thunder and Lightning in the backfield with Reggie Bush and White. I forgot his first name, White, right? The Thunder and Lightning. White ended up getting drafted by the Tennessee Titans. Reggie Bush ended up going to the Saints? Is that where he got drafted, to the Saints? The Saints or Detroit Lions, one of those two. And Vince Young was a man amongst boys. I mean, we had Matt Leinart and all that, right? And we had Jarrett, what's his name? Jarrett Smith or something, Jarrett, the wide receiver. And we had Steve Smith. So USC was a hell of a team. They was coming off a back-to-back because they was finna win 3 in a row, right? I think this was the first team to win 3 in a row probably in college football history. I don't think no team ever won 3 in a row. If it did, it was some long time ago, maybe Notre Dame or somebody like that, a long, 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 long time ago. But we was on our way to win 3 in a row national championships, and we ran into Vince Young and company, and I think they had their running back White. I think the running back was White. I think it was, or Charles. No, Jamal Charles. That was their running back, Jamal Charles. Yeah. And man, that game was so good. Lindell White. That's right. Lindell White. Thank you, Lamont. Man, that game was so good. I mean, just the collision, all these high impact collision on that court amongst these young kids. It was like a real Super Bowl. And then in the end, of course, Texas prevailed because we was unable to stop that final drive of Texas. And then Vince Young courts himself into the end zone and to win that game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they made a lot of mistakes. They went on that 4th down. That was a killer, Lamont. They went, if I could remember, they went on 4th and 1, and Reggie Bush was not out there on the field. That was a Pete Carroll gasp mistake by not having Reggie Bush out on that field and putting Reggie Bush in motion so the linebacker can roll with Reggie Bush, and then you give the ball to Lindell White, who was Thunder at the time, and he probably would have got that 1st down. And you know that the Texas defense sold out, right? It's like playing Madden football when you press that all blitz, that Thunder blitz, when every Thunder blitz plus run up the middle, plus those two, and your whole team just sell out, and the wide receivers is so wide open. Man, they had the wide receivers wide open, and it should have been play action. We should have won that game, no doubt. But nevertheless, yeah, Vince Young did underachieve in the NFL. What happened with Vince Young, according to some people that I know him, is that Vince Young thought more of himself than he should have. He overhyped himself, and that's something you're not supposed to do. And then by doing that and notice that you're playing at the next level, that sent him into a state of depression. Yeah, you remember Lindell White got stuffed. Exactly. Yeah. So and yeah, Bush broke that long run and he fumbled. You're right. Made some mistakes. Yep, you're right. But nevertheless, Texas was a good team now, because usually USC can get away with making some mistakes. You know what I mean? And earlier that year, if you don't remember, Lamont, that USC played Notre Dame, and they got away with pushing Reggie Bush into the end zone, which that's supposed to have been a penalty, because you're not supposed to get aided by your players to get into the end zone. But they end up, was it? I mean, not Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart. Was Matt Leinart the one that got aided, right? He got the quarterback sneak and rolled off the tackle and made it to the touchdown. They was supposed to not have that game, even though Notre Dame cheated by letting the grass grow and they didn't have no maintenance on the grass. So that should have been a penalty in itself too. So the Bush push, there you go, the Bush push, right? Lamar, you there, brother? You there, man? You there? Yeah, that Bush push. So, and then the play before that, what actually won the game was that route, that go route with Jarrett. You remember that go route with Jarrett? Matt Leinart just stepped back and he threw that ball, and it was perfect. That's probably his best throw of his college career. Perfect in Jarrett's hand, and Jarrett ran it all the way down to like the 1 yard line. But shout out to everybody that's rocking with us right now. Open panel, Chuck Morris, Treville Real, Lamont Simmons. Shout out to all you guys that's in the building. Basil Carpenter, our #1 supporter. Testy 1 2 3. He got the Z's up. I'm sorry, brother. We could talk more about Jello. Put some questions up in there. Shout out to the chat. The chat is going wild. The chat is crazy. The chat has been supporting us all night, holding us up. You know what I'm saying? Keeping us at a high standard. I really appreciate y'all down there in this chat, man. You just don't know. A lot of times I don't look at it because my phone is not nowhere near me, or my lap or my iPad. So I don't even know what the hell y'all be talking about sometimes. But since it's kind of slowed down a little bit, I'm able to go ahead and look at a lot of the comments that's in this chat, and shout out to Memphis 10 too. Yep. It's just mind boggling. Shout out to Uproad Sant, and shout out to Jay Schmitty, Conversation Talk. If he's still in the building, or if he's not, it's all good. Of course, shout out to Flight Sports TV. Shout out to Uncle Vern. He came up here rocking with us for a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are constituents, y'all are family, y'all part of the regime, y'all in the foxholes with us, you know what I'm saying? And we appreciate it, whether we agree, disagree, or come to a conclusion of, hey, who gives a fuck, right? All that is all good. But yeah, those are some fun times with my days working at the Rose Bowl.
We got to get up out of here.
Okay, salute to everybody.
Salute.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.